Hey, table sick, how's it going? Also, Duck Duck Goose, welcome in. Just working on this sample, trying to find some more species for Jenna. Here in the lab by myself, in atypical fashion. I usually have a guest helping. I sent Jenna a message and asked if she was able to come work on the SEM because I have an opening, and she said nothing yet, so she's probably busy. I didn't let that deter me. It's probably Thalassiosira. I have a little room to get a bit closer. I'm gonna wait till I actually find something that I'm looking for. Which I think this counts. Except for I think this is just that sluffer again. Let's see if I can clean up this image a little. Looks alright. Yeah, it's a Salafra. And probably the one that we saw before. These big pores at the end. There's a link for Salafra. See, the characteristics of Salafra are striae are usually seriate, uniseriate, or biseriate. Sometimes there's a canopium present, and usually there are polar bars for many of the species, which are basically these silica platforms at the end. Yeah, we got rid of the bubble because I was sitting next to people, so it felt like I was too circular at that point. What's up, Luke? Just taking some pictures of diatoms in a light micro or a scanning electron microscope, you know, as one does. Olden but golden. Greetings from Sweden. Well, greetings from Indiana, Olden. Welcome in. I watched a bunch of videos of a guy building his own SEM. Pretty fun. Can be. I get that comment a lot. People watch it on YouTube, building their own SEM. Let's see what else we can find that's kind of in this shape. I'm looking for a Samathidium. I think that's a Nitzia. No, it's a Navicula. It's probably a Nitzia. Do you feel like you could build your own SEM after having watched somebody do it? Piece of cake? Just get an old TV, turn some screws, push some buttons. It's a Cervarella fragment. Make sure when you build your own SCM that you make it so that you can stream it into Twitch. Oh, look at this one. It's an internal view of that the Syra again. This is good though because you can really get in close. And maybe tweak the quality of the image a little. There we go. Slight improvement, incremental improvement over where it was, but every little bit helps. You can see the place where I was on it closed up before. But so it says a ring around the outside of what we call mantle photoportula, and then there's the rumoportula. And then these are valve face photoportula. So portula endings just mean that there's a hole that goes through the diatom cell wall, which is what we're seeing here in the skeleton, through to the other side, completely through the diatom, basically. Okay, so let's do that. Will help. And then it should be good. I'm gonna auto adjust the brightness and the contrast a little. This is an internal view, so this outer lip is sticking up at us, and then this ring of things is basically sitting on that outer lip on the inside. So if you can think of it like a bottle cap, basically a very shallow bottle cap. That is laying on its back, so the part you would screw onto the bottle is face up. This looks good. Image quality looks good. I'm just gonna take that picture. You're not comfortable dealing with high voltage yet. You know, that's really how I am all the time. When there's a problem that needs to be fixed and it's the electricity at my house, my wife manages that problem. She's much more comfortable, like, in general with electricity. I can build things, lots of things, and I'm good with software, but when it comes to like touching electricity or messing around with currents or any of that stuff, yeah. So if we needed like an outlet replaced, she does that. Not my job at the house. How long do you think it'll take AI to get you out of a job? AI will be able to replace me by the time I'm dead. So, you know, I'll already be out of a job by then. Why does the black square where you scanned continue to be there after a while? That's because, and you can see it's still there. That's because when we were zoomed in on that spot, it was scanning over top of it, and some of the electrons are still radiating off of that surface. Yeah. Hi, Anna. We are looking at stuff from Otter Creek, which is a creek in Indiana, not too far from here, where Jenna was looking for stuff last time. So because the scanning electron microscope records bright and dark based on electrons, so it's like we were zoomed in on that spot, and I think it's probably just highlighting some of that material. Does it have any otters? Yeah, it has otters. Like currently, it does have otters that live in it. I bruised it, yeah, temporarily. If you leave it on there long enough, it'll burn a hole all the way through the diatoms. I don't have that kind of time. It's probably years. What process do I use to color the images? So everything that you see below is obviously false color images that I created. I use a collection of software tools. I usually start by taking it into Photoshop and converting it into a color image from black and white, which is like a modal change you have to do. And then adjusting the brightness and contrast. And then, depending how I feel, I will sometimes take it from there into Lightroom, which is another tool by Adobe, for adding some color changes. And then a lot of times what I'll do is either take it into Procreate on my iPad, if I'm using my iPad, and play with the gradient tools in there. So you can basically take different levels of light exposure and turn them into color using that. Or I do it inside Photoshop using adding layers and then using either gradient map tools or just adding pure color and then playing around with the way that the layer interacts with the base layer. So it's kind of a complicated process, but I've done it before on stream, where I'd sit and edit some stuff and show people how I do it. There's probably some old videos laying around of that. I don't know how long ago they would have been, probably over a year ago, because people often ask me how I do the coloring. Sometimes you can just use the neural tools on Adobe Photoshop, which will add some things that are kind of cool. Like you can transfer color from an existing picture onto another picture. And so I will sometimes use those neural tools. And sometimes the neural tools will just be like, colorize this. But I don't really like what it does when it colorizes it in terms of the color choices, because it's trying to guess at what a diatom is and it doesn't know. But I will sometimes use that to give a little bit more depth to the image, and then I will take those and start adding layers of gradient maps on top of them. So it's a lot of like just tweaking things until I like the way that it appears. And sometimes I try to target different colors on purpose, like I don't know, Halloween or Easter or Christmas, like try to pick color schemes that people might associate with holidays when I post things around those days. But a lot of times it's just like, I don't know, I tend to drift towards a lot of blue colors. So blues and purples kind of look cool. Or I try to make the diatoms look kind of metallic-y. But yeah, it's just basically artwork. And I didn't, initially on the Instagram page for this channel, which is, there's two of them, but the one of them is the, oh, it's actually not the right address anymore. I need to fix that. Mr. Stream Elements, okay. But it's just Diatoms Attack at at Instagram. And you can sort of scroll back through time and see when I started coloring, and then see how my coloring kind of advanced through that, because I just started off adding base colors, and then like the longer I was playing around with stuff in Photoshop and Procreate, the more, I guess, interesting or complicated the color schemes get. So just like a separate thing I do for fun, with not, just a few of the pictures usually from whatever it is I've been working on recently, especially if they're kind of spectacular. So we've had some pretty spectacular images come off of the SEM, like mosquito wings and pollen grains, and obviously a lot of diatoms. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Somewhere in this sample there's supposed to be some samothidium that I'm looking for, which is a specific diatom. It's pretty small, like 5 microns in length. So one of the problems is when they're really small, they can be under things or mixed in with mud, and or I might just overlook them because I'm too far zoomed out. So especially if they're really lightly silicified. But we're trying to confirm what species it is for a grad student who's working on this project. So if you weren't here, I think we streamed last week on Someday, where we were looking at low-head dam removal. So low-head dams are these sort of concrete structures that people put in place when they were using the rivers for crushing grains, for milling grains, and they're not really used for that anymore. Then they just become an obstruction and they start to fall apart, and so a lot of places are removing them. And of course, anytime you make a big transition like that, in terms of the speed of the water or energy of the system or the amount of sediment, because all those things are going to be affected dynamically by placing or removing a dam. It modifies the ecosystem kind of a lot. So she's looking at samples from before the dam was removed. We knew it was coming, and then immediately after it was removed. So, but rivers are challenging places to work on diatoms, because they're kind of junk piles of everything in the environment kind of being pushed into this sort of like single area. And there's a lot of micro environments associated with rivers. And so if all of them are kind of blended together and diatoms become adapted to different microenvironments, it means that you usually see really high diversity of diatoms in those systems, because they collect everything basically. And they can also collect things that aren't even living in the river. They could be on the river banks that fall in, or they could be they could also be like if a lake feeds into a river that then feeds into another river or something like that, right? So like you could actually get stuff from lakes that get carried into streams. And if you're close to the ocean, sometimes the streams flow backwards when the ocean sort of floods the land, and you can actually get some marine diatoms that can be carried into, or estuarine diatoms that are carried into freshwater rivers a little bit. They probably don't live there very well, but they can still be deposited in them. Let's see, this might be a stupid question, but do diatoms interact with bacteria? It's not a stupid question. It's an astute question, actually, I would say. and one that most people don't have very clear idea. A lot of times bacterial processes are challenging for us to figure out in lakes and rivers. But I can tell you for sure they interact with them on one side of the situation is like when they die, they're decomposed by bacteria. Diatoms are autotrophs, so they get their food from sunlight plus nutrients that are in the water. And just like when the bacteria break down and decompose anything else, they mineralize a bunch of things that were in the bodies of those organisms, including phosphorus and nitrogen. And so the primary interaction between like bacteria and diatoms is either the diatoms are being decomposed by the bacteria, or if they're dead, or if they're living, they're utilizing resources that the bacteria do not need, but then will metabolize into something that other organisms can use. So any mineralization that transforms like body phosphorus from organisms into soluble reactive phosphorus, which would be a transition that would happen under decomposition, would result in diatoms basically being able to take up phosphorus. So there's a direct connection through that microbial loop where they get some of their resources from them, and then also when they die, they are themselves mineralized to phosphorus and nitrogen and silica. If that makes sense. Hopefully I didn't use too many science words. I don't know if you're a scientist. Sample's like got nothing going on this side of it. It's diatom. Larger ones are usually really easy to pick out because you can zoom out a lot farther, and then you're not restricted by clicking through the sample very slowly like we are now. But oftentimes we don't need to see the big ones on a scanning electron microscope. It's the little ones that are the hard thing to see. So it's a bit of a hide and seek game usually. It's amphora. Curdle view. It's a navicula. Right now we're looking at this slide at about 1,000 times magnification, which is roughly, well, it's basically the same as a light microscope, right? So it's a good place for me to scan at this distance because I'm sort of used to seeing the diatoms at that scale, and so I know roughly how big they should be. It's amazing how quickly scale sort of you lose track of the scale of things when you're using a scanning electron microscope, because you just have to turn a button to basically move up and down in space. So we could be in super close on something like this Cymbella, and oh, that's cool. There's the stigma. And maybe too close to see what we're looking for in the rest of the sample, or too far away. So I like to kind of sit at around heights that I'm used to looking at things at, and then I'm like, okay, it should be like roughly this big relative to the things that I'm used to looking at. So I know it's small, but I know how small, basically, right? So I'm not looking for a speck. I'm looking for something that's kind of one of the ticks on this scale bar down here. Smellercyra. It's a Placanese, I think. Yeah, it's a Placanese. It's a big piece of a Cerarella. I think that's the external view of a Reucosphenia. It's a really big Cerarella. Kind of plain looking one. Not very exciting looking Cerarella. Well, at least at this height. I bet if I zoomed in it would look kind of cool. Somewhere in here. Surface is like, looks like cardboardy. It's another Cerarella. It's an internal valve for Cockneys. Casey Snowart, hello. Lurking while I work, but I wanted to say that this is so cool. Thank you. It's the first time I heard about diatoms was from an episode of Forensic Files, so this stuff is fascinating. Thank you for sharing it with us. People often hear about diatoms through things like Forensic Files, and I had a student who was in my lab for a while who knew all of the Forensic File cases, and so when somebody would mention that, she would just start like chatting with them about it. So let's see. Not a scientist, but that was a good answer. Okay, good. Do diatoms have natural color? They do. In fact, diatoms make their own pigments that are diatoxanthin. In other words, it's a xanthophyll type pigment that's only made by diatoms. And so not only does it produce a characteristic color, but also if you try to detect it chemically, you always know that a diatom made it because it's the only algal type that makes that pigment. And then they make another one that is like a xanthophyll. I think it's just called xanthophyll. So there's like diatoxanthin and xanthophyll. And then they also do chlorophyll. So they have chlorophyll pigments, which are green. And then, it's a type of algae. But diatoms usually make a lot of the diatoxanthin and xanthophyll type pigments, which actually give them kind of a characteristic orangey or, kind of like a boogery green, like a mucusy kind of a green or orangey green. And if there's a lot of them present, because they're microscopic, they're basically the size of dust, they're very small, but if you put a lot of them together, they actually make color that you could see in colonies in nature. So, like, if you Google Didymosphenia, it's this one. You're not going to know how to spell it if I don't put it in here, probably. Didymosphenia. You'll see that people have, like, hand samples of it that you can actually see because they're kind of orange colored or brownish orange colored. Let's see. So can diatoms be utilized as part of fertilizers? There are people who are currently working on trying to make them a part of fertilizers, because it would naturally then introduce a bunch of silica into the fertilizer. So in theory, when it washes off of the farm fields, it would carry a bunch of silica with it into the river systems or lakes that are around it. And so that would hopefully feed diatoms when they get back in to the water instead of cyanobacteria, for example. It's the Thalassiocera lacustris. And so, as a pure fertilizer by itself, it does have phosphorus and nitrogen in the body, and probably a lot of nitrogen, so you could use them that way, but probably not in a very effective fashion. So you'd have to kind of have a lot of diatoms in order to make it something you could grow food with. But you could use them in fertilization of landscapes, probably. It just would be challenging to collect them, as opposed to most of the other algae. And in some places in the world where they have eutrophication problems, where there's too much nutrients in water, they will often collect the algae from fields and stuff. From lakes, and put them onto fields to grow stuff, which can be problematic because sometimes the algae that they're using for that purpose make toxins, and the toxins can be transferred. So, not always recommended as a good decision to have potentially toxic things next to your food. So this is a Cerarella on its side. This is Thalassiocera lacustris. This little guy hiding in here is another one of those Placanese. It's a ring from a Melisira or Thalassiocera. This is a Cyclotella. This is Cyclotella meningiana. This one usually indicates elevated nutrients and slightly elevated salinity where we find it. So that's a good indicator of like high agricultural pollution, usually in most river systems. The Thalassiocera lacustris is often found in places with slightly elevated salts as well. So that's those two are planktonic diatoms. Excuse me. So that means they float in the water and they can be carried downstream. And rivers accumulate a lot of salts from agriculture or from road salts. And so those things can actually live in what we think of as saltier diatoms, can actually be found living in river systems often. What are you seeking right now? We're looking for just one diatom, which is Samothidium. Some Samothidium. I think it's Sabatomoides. I thought it was like a crystal. Yeah, I think it's Sabatomoides, but I haven't been able to find it, so it's a question as to whether it actually is Sabatomoides. A lot of the ones that we saw in the light microscope were kind of degraded. Like, dissolved or partially broken or something. But it was the most common diatom that she observed in the first count that she did, so I thought that they would be more easily findable in our samples than we have so far, at least. Oh. It's the Gomphanema auger? Or Spherophora, one or the other, I forget. It kind of depends on how wide the midsection is here. So I haven't had much luck finding what we're looking for. There's a couple of reasons why that might be. One of them is just they might be underneath some of this junk. Another explanation, a reasonable one, is that they're lighter, smaller, lighter things, and maybe that this part of the sample got mostly the heavier things. It's another Gomphanema of some type. But we have another sample from the same general area, so if I don't find one, I can always come back. That's an avicula. I can always switch to that sample and see if it has anything useful in it. Presumably, it's not too far away, so it probably has a similar flora. So I might just jump over to that, because I don't think we spent much time on it before. I don't exactly remember which one of these numbers it was, but I thought it was 5. Something around the outside. Yeah, it's this one. That's a navicula. That is a diatoma. That is a gyrosigma, right here, this S-shaped one. Cerarella. Cerarella. That's also a Cerarella, a different one. We didn't see that in the other sample. This is the Cerarella we saw in the other sample. Same species. I think it's another Slophera. Rotated that little guy right out of my field of view. There he is. So this is a different thing. Might be a Slophera. I was just rotating it around to get it perfectly catty corner. Missed an opportunity to see if there were special diatoms living on crocodiles. Look, it's Jenna. I am looking at your samples and I'm streaming.
Can I come?
Yeah, it's both Jennas.
I was actually just signing up for a Twitch account so that I could message you to let me in.
Oh, the door?
Yeah, because I was pretty sure you were.
Did you
looking
try to
at-
just text me normally and I didn't hear it?
Well, yeah,
Oh.
but I thought it'd be funny if I Twitch messaged
Oh,
you.
if you came into the channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
So I was signing up, but then Jenna had to let me in.
Well, she ruined everything.
So, have you found anything cool?
Have I found any of your Craigs? No.
Yes.
No Craigs. But have I found things? Yes.
Cool stuff?
So, yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what this one is. I guess it's a Solafro.
How big is it?
Little. 15 microns.
Mm-hmm. Might be Ross.
This is from the next sample.
Oh, okay.
So you might not have seen it, but it does have a gap in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, this shape kind of makes me think it's an acanthidium, but
Oh, really?
it doesn't look like it's flexed.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I think Ross is more rostrate than that.
well, I don't know the names of your
That's why I named
diatoms
him Ross.
because he was rostrate.
Yeah.
All right, then. Let's see. The croc in question lived in our local park and was getting too big for people's comfort, so they relocated. Were you there while they were relocating it? It's caught taking a stroll in the mall. Excellent. My description of diatom algae does not sound tasty. Well, I wouldn't eat them. Can we settle on golden brown color? Instead of boogery green, golden brown's fine. Golden devil. Oh, hello. It's Seasons, my friend Seasons. Yeah, I haven't streamed very much, so... This... What was that? Doc Brown X. Any stream with a scanning electron microscope automatically gets a follow. But you must not have a lot of people you follow automatically, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only person streaming on a scanning electron microscope on Twitch.
In the world?
Yeah, in the world. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I think there's some people who might have just had him on there for a minute or something, but I think I'm the only person who actually streams, like, weekly or whatever into a scanning electron microscope. What do you want me to call this thing?
It doesn't quite look like Ross.
Unknown.
Slaf.
Probably Solafra. This is very Solafra-like.
It's too small to be Greg. I mean, yeah, Greg.
It's not... Oh, Greg. Not
Greg is different from
not
Craig.
Craig.
Oh, it might be Tiny, not Greg.
Tiny, not Greg? Is that a category?
Yeah, because I got things that look like Greg but are too small.
Tiny, not Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like with a hyphen.
Inside, yeah, slightly different.
Hyphenated, not Greg.
No.
What speed am I at? I want speed 4. We're just scanning around, you know, as we do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be in charge of this part of it?
I feel like if anyone's going to find Craig, it's going to be you.
I don't have special Craig's finding skills that I know of.
Special, probably small diatom finding skills.
Well, the trick is to just not get too far out and then to know what a diatom looks like.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, I was looking at my Craig measurements, and I said that he was 5 to 10. He's actually more like 3 to 7.
Well,
microns.
you know, it's the same size for us in the scanning electron microscope if I'm looking for 5 or 7, so, or even 10. We kind of need to be sort of close.
It's hard because those Sorellas are so distracting.
I mean, that's the way it usually is when you're looking at any slide. If there's Sorella on there, I'm usually kind of like, well, I'm looking at this for a while.
Yeah.
But see, if you manage this part, where you click around and look for diatoms, then I could handle chat better.
You want me to?
It's either that or you need to like interact with chat better.
Oh, okay.
One or the other.
I have Twitch on my phone. Look at me go.
You're such a modern person all of a
All
sudden.
of a sudden, I don't have
Once you
much.
started becoming a streamer and then,
Yeah, now I'm famous.
you know, now you're famous. Yeah, of course.
Gonna have to re-download Instagram. Oh no.
Taco Bell.
Darn Twitch.
Now I have some good news.
Yeah? Did you find him?
I don't know, did I?
Is he tiny?
Yes, that is tiny. That there,
Tiny.
field of view is 10.
Amazing.
But the reason I think that might be a Samathidium is that the striae are extra wide for the size of the little tiny guy.
Yes.
So,
It looks like the right shape.
see how it looks like it's doubly punctate? Or maybe you can't tell.
No, I can tell a lot more than I can in the light microscope.
True. I'm going to turn it. Let's see. I want like 130. No, 190, maybe 100.
Golden Devil 1711 says you can get famous from streaming on Twitch. Dang. Probably not really.
People do.
Is PewDiePie on Twitch?
I don't know.
The old PewDiePie.
I'm afraid I don't know who that is.
I think he's like the most famous streamer.
I
in
thought it
the
was a
world.
girl, so
He's like a Swedish guy.
okay. I'm not arguing their fame.
I might just, I don't know.
I'm arguing my ignorance of pop culture.
I don't watch him. I just have heard the name.
You seem to know a lot about him for somebody you don't watch.
My brother used to watch him,
See?
but I never on purpose did.
Well, sometimes you can't
I
help
need
it.
everyone to know that.
Sometimes you just accidentally, you're just watching something and there they are, right?
Mhm.
And what can you do? You gotta watch it.
There's a lot of Twitch streamers who...
Accidental viewing.
A lot of them just play video games.
Yeah, that happens on here.
Yeah. Is that like the majority of Twitch, do you think?
It's definitely the reason Twitch originally started, so it's probably where a lot of the history of it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first Twitch streams I ever saw were people playing games.
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago. And
It's one of
usually
those
when I
things
tell
like that.
people, oh, I have a stream where I do stuff on Twitch, they're always like, oh, like playing video games. And I'm like, no, like with a scanning electron microscope where I put it
Mhm.
on, you know, for people and then
Yeah.
talk science at them for like 3 hours at a time.
Well, I didn't realize that anybody else did anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now our department is following my lead, and our department has a Twitch account so that they can
Cool.
stream for the eclipse, which is
That's
coming
awesome.
on Monday. So if you're interested in that, I do follow them. I think they're just like EESIND State or something like that. So that's if you're interested in following the eclipse, which is happening this Monday,
Mm-hmm.
it's like 1 o'clock or something.
308 we will be in totality.
3:08.
I know because I announced it to my students today. It was one of our slides.
I'm going to be taking pictures of it. So I'm just going to watch it happen. I'm just going to do a lot of like staring right at the sun.
Are you going to be on campus?
Probably not.
Okay. Because there's going to be like special
Yeah, we have a telescope.
telescopes.
We're streaming from. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, onto Twitch. Yeah. If it's cloudy here, I'm going somewhere else. So that's what I'm getting at.
I feel like traffic's going to be awful.
This is maybe a Samathidium.
Sabatomoides?
No, sorry, Planethidium.
Oh, shoot.
I think it's a Planethidium.
Why do you think that?
Because it looks too coarse for Sabatomoides. Striae look too coarse. It looks like a Planethidium.
Golden Devil 1711 says, oh wow, that's cool. It is cool.
Yeah, it's alright.
I'm not going to like pursue diatoms stuff or anything like that.
Where were you earlier? Were you teaching?
I have mammalogy lab from 1 to typically like 4.
Mammalogy?
It's the study of mammals.
I guess that. That was my first guess.
So, do you think the cave's on the opposite side?
Yep, it's on the valve we don't have.
I have several photos that I was suspecting that was the case, but I wanted to make you look at them first.
Make me look at them.
Yeah.
Like tie me to a chair and
Yeah,
force
basically.
me to look at diatoms.
Anushka Aswamp.
Yeah, we just call her Anna.
Do we know this person?
Yeah.
Says looks like a planethidium from here, but
See?
I think you need from another side to ID it.
You think I need the other side, but I don't think I need it.
I think, well, I've got a couple planethidiums, and that one looks like one that I have.
What do you call them?
That one I think I called Planethidium Shorty.
That's not the name of an old man.
I know.
I was expecting a white guy name,
Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
and I wanted to know what white guy name we were calling it.
I have one named Carl.
Carl! Carl!
That's a really good one. What's that?
This is a girdle band.
Oh,
That's like a,
looks so sad.
it's like a giant boulder, and hiding underneath it is, that's doubly punctate. I don't know what that is, actually. Something small, though.
Is it a Xanthothidium?
No, it's probably Paraplacanese. Too big for your Samothidium, in my opinion.
This is sparkly. Triblionella.
Yeah, I think that's Triblionella. That's a good
Triblionella
good picture
peanut.
of it, though. Let's see. We're gonna like maybe add 30 degrees.
I don't understand that.
What part?
The putting in degrees to rotate it.
Well, it's a circle,
Yeah.
so it goes from 0 to
So
360.
the default is 0?
When up is north, that's 0.
Oh, it's a compass. Okay.
It's like a compass, and so we're now at 140 degrees, which way this is pointing. But what I usually do is just look at whatever it says now, and then I look at the shape, and I think about like quadrants, and then I try to rotate it to the quadrant, so it's going one of the corners or the other. This is going to make for a pretty little picture, because this guy has cool stuff on it. In here.
Anna says, take a picture.
She's always trying to talk me into taking pictures. Like I wasn't gonna do it already.
Just not
Like I
do
was
it
just
just
gonna
to spite
skip
her.
over a Triblionella. It's not like it's a Nitzia. Let's be real.
I mean, they're pretty similar.
Shh, shh, shh. Don't say such things, I can hear you.
Okay. Kind of doesn't look like a Triblionella peanut.
I don't know which Triblionella it is, but that definitely has a wrinkle in it, so it's a Triblionella.
Uncle.
If it's not a Triblionella, it should be.
Anna says you skipped over a Cerarella and a Gomphanema.
Yeah, I did that.
It's because we're looking for Craig.
Let's see. You can get famous from streaming on Twitch. Well, I mean, people often tell me how I could get famous on Twitch, and I'm like, I'm already famous? I'm just not famous on Twitch. I'm a famous scientist.
In the diatom world.
Yeah. All the diatom people know me. I've been sainted.
From, is there a church of diatoms? Who
Uh,
sainted you?
The diatom community sainted me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to get sainted?
Perform a miracle, obviously.
What was your miracle?
I resurrected our diatom meeting after several years of it not being hosted.
brought it back from the dead.
I brought it back from the dead. I am
Lazarus.
the patron saint of regeneration.
That's good.
That's my sainthood, regeneration. So I will sadly be in my office working on Eclipse Day. If you have windows, you could just look out them.
Step outside for a smoke break.
We need a church of Diatoms. Yeah. So there's 2 saints in all of the entire Diatom community.
Who's the other one?
Paul Hamilton.
What did he do?
I don't remember what his why he was sainted. I think just for being a kind of a nice guy.
Oh, well, if that's how you get sainted.
I think it's related. I think that's also why I got it.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm kind of a nice guy.
Oh. There's a chance then. Maybe I will be
There's
a
a
saint
chance.
one
Oh,
day.
if you want to become a diatomist like full time, you're gonna have to give up the turtles probably.
No, I want to be a ecologist that dabbles.
Oh, a dabbler.
Mm-hmm.
We have those in our community. We have people, we call them naturalists.
Mm-hmm. That's the ultimate title.
Yeah, I'm already a naturalist though, because like I dabble in birds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And then other organisms.
Yeah, I like dabbling in all things.
Yeah.
I'm really I like the natural world in all forms.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at identifying most of the lake organisms.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of the little guys.
And the big guys.
Some of the big guys. I'm not great with fish, actually.
Do you dabble in the dabbling ducks?
Well, they are a bird, so...
Yeah. Just when you said dabbling, it reminds me that there's diving ducks and
Well,
there's
water
dabbling
birds are
ducks.
probably my least strong suit, but Anna's very good with birds as well, and she likes the water birds. She lives in Florida now, so she can just look at water birds all the time. Look at all those little striae.
Yeah.
Somebody did a good job with this photo. That's all I got to say about that. That's a pretty good job for that
Excellent.
photo. Triblionella. I don't know what you call it. What do you call your Triblionella in your samples?
Well, I've got Triblionella peanut, but he's more peanut shaped.
This one might be a little version,
okay.
like an old man.
Yeah. Like
You
a
know, when they get
Benjamin
old,
Button baby.
when they get old, they get small. So
Mhm.
this could be a small old man named Bert. Is that what you said?
Bert is a Navicula.
Oh, it's not Bert. What's the name of your Triblionella?
Peanut.
Oh, you just call it Peanut.
Yeah.
All right. I think there's a guy who comes to my channel occasionally named Peanut.
Oh, is that his God-given name?
I don't ask those questions usually. If they're streamers and they're here and they're hanging out, that's just fine. Look, we got another one of these guys. It's underneath the rock.
Yeah, those are cool.
This looks like a Nitzia.
Hmm.
That's how I feel about it. Oh, it's broken, so we don't have to take a picture of it. It's in my contract also. I'm not being paid, so I don't have to take pictures of Nitzia or identify them.
Mm-hmm. But if someone were to donate in the stream, then you would have to.
Except for that doesn't come to me. That goes to the lab.
Hmm.
So that doesn't count.
Okay.
But it would be kind of funny if people could force me to identify things to species by paying money. And then you would just go on the other side and start sending money and make me describe or determine what all of your diatoms are.
Yeah, problem with that is I don't have much of that money stuff.
Well, it seems like a problem you could rectify just getting famous on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Nayradia Raynadia says, hello, this is very cool stuff.
Well,
It
hello.
is.
Yeah, it's all right,
You should follow.
I guess. If you find it interesting, following's probably a good choice. I do cool stuff. I don't
You
know what's
dabble.
going on here. I dabble in cool things occasionally. We're gonna go up. Whatever's up, we're going that direction.
Mm.
So I spent the first part of the stream just like talking about how I was here by myself without Jenna. Here's Jenna.
I was in lab.
Well, I'm looking at your samples, so I wanted them to be aware of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that they're not my samples.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't abandon.
No. I didn't say you abandoned them.
I'm a good graduate
Or me.
student.
Hey, do you know what this one
Ooh.
is? Should I force you to pay me
Let-
money to
let
identify
the
it?
records show that I have not counted this slide yet.
There's a record? I guess it is a VOD.
Yes, so I do not know that, but that is a Raphy-less diatom, is it not?
That's factual.
Is it a fragilaria?
No, but that's an okay guess.
Thank you.
Uh,
Pinularia?
Pinularia has a Raphy, so it cannot be that,
Oh, rats.
based on your own description.
Okay. Would you like to tell me?
Well, I feel like if I don't tell you, it'll be a while before you guess it.
Yes, because I was not in the taxonomy class for the Raphy-less section,
That is true.
and I have almost none in my samples without Raphys, so I haven't really been looking into them.
Well, you got one right here. This guy?
Uh-huh.
This is Meridian.
It's what?
Meridian. Here, watch this. I can go in here and I can type G. Meridian. And it gives us a link to Meridian.
Oh, yes.
And then we can open up the link. Look at this.
It's like a
Look at this.
icicle.
It's like I know what I'm talking about almost.
Like a
This guy? That's Meridian. It's Meridian circulare.
Well, I better write that down.
I mean, you can. If you showed it to me again, I would know which one it is. So
Yeah, but I don't need to.
you could just keep
Ask
asking
you
me.
again.
Like every time, just ask me which one is it, and I'll tell you. Oh, it's Meridian circulare. It's this guy. Here, this one. This guy. It looks exactly
See,
like
you
this.
don't have unlimited time, so I like to try to only ask you each question once.
Yeah. Well, I just, yeah, lucky guess, exactly. I had a 1 in 12,000 chance of getting it right,
Mm-hmm.
and
Really lucky.
I would call that lucky. Yeah. How's it going, Pragmatic? Let's see. I made it this thing to this thing. Let's do this, and then we'll take a picture of it. Because if I don't take a picture of it, then Anna will be mad at me.
Anna said there was a diatoma. Was it Diatoma vulgaris?
We saw a diatoma in the stream before you arrived, and it was Diatoma vulgaris.
I know that one.
Yeah, they're closely related to Meridian. In fact, this thing got moved around into Diatoma for a little bit, and then out, and then back in, and then back out.
It's his curvier cousin.
In the old days, it used to be called Echinella. That was the time before we even had TVs or internet.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got quickly moved into, I believe, Diatoma, and then eventually Meridian, and then out of Meridian back into Diatoma, I think, and then back into Meridian.
What a tempestuous life.
Well, I probably didn't notice.
Yeah.
It's like when other people make a lot of noise about what you're doing and you don't even know that they're there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's pretty much how I would view it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is sort of my response to when people say something about stalking me, and I'm always like, well, if I don't notice it, I don't care, right?
Mhm.
So just don't be obvious. Go ahead and stalk me. I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me until I see you. Then it becomes a problem.
Mm-hmm. So,
If you're good at it, it's not a problem, I guess.
yeah, if you're a good stalker.
Yeah. Meridian circulare lives in waterfalls and flowing water conditions on hard rock surfaces.
What the heck is it doing in Otter Creek then?
Turns out it's a river
Yeah.
with flowing water
Yeah.
and hard surfaces.
It's not
Pretty common in rivers, though.
Okay. Not a very pristine waterfall habitat, though.
It just has to have flowing water. It doesn't have to be a waterfall. That was a an example of where you might find it.
Okay.
Because I've often found them in waterfalls.
That's cool.
Any flowing river with rocks are a good candidate for it.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's rapids or shallow conditions where the water flows a little bit more quickly over rocky surfaces, you'll find them. And they usually make the rocks really slippery. So if you walk across them, you might fall into the water because of them. And their name comes from the fact that they grow in a giant circle, like a fan, kind of like Amphinema from the side.
Those colonies.
They just keep going around and around. They make like a circle.
That's cool.
Like they grow in
like
a big
spiral.
Well, like a very shallow spiral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like one of those sort of like a fan that goes all the way out into a circle. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like how it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
just
yeah.
like a very shallow circle spiral. One end of the valve, the head pole, has a rim of portula.
Is that the part that's connected to the rest of the colony, or?
Nope.
That would
Nope.
be the other end.
That's the other end.
Messacar says, stalking you? Why would anyone do that?
I don't know. I'm
Only
not very
because he's
interesting.
famous.
I am famous, but not on Twitch, so there's no reason these people would stalk me. But somebody out there in the wild might stalk me, you know? Like, maybe they're looking for something to eat and they saw that I was kind of moving slow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, lions stalk people. Meridian. Circulare. Meridian circulare. This is the other reason why you probably didn't need to write it down.
Yeah, that's valid.
I just gave it to you like on this, sort of on the image. But that's a good diatom. It's a nice picture of it.
It's a really good one.
I think I saw a diatoma around here as well. There's a lacustris again. This guy? Well, that's just... I feel like I should stop and take a picture because it's pretty.
Yeah, it's a really cool one.
If I zoom in really close, we can see these little tiny... they usually have these little tiny, like, stubby things on the outside.
Are they little spikes, or?
Yeah, like tiny spikes. Here you can see them. Let's get real close. Now if I can get it into focus.
Pragmatic entropy has a good question. Is that a fancy word for mouth? I assume with portula in the name. What does rima portula mean?
Anything that has portula in the name in a diatom means that it's a hole that goes all the way through. So it goes from the inside of the diatom to the outside of the diatom. Portula. Like the word, Spanish word, puerta, means door.
Okay. In anatomy, the word for hole is foramen.
Yeah, they sometimes call them foramen for these things, the openings on the surface. We call them areolae on diatoms, but they are also sometimes referred to by a diatom as foramen, a hole.
Anna said portula means door, not hole.
I said door. I said puerta.
Oh, okay.
But it is a hole.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, except for it's a little... Still seems like it's a little out of focus. It's hard for me to get the focus correct.
Me too.
Because it doesn't have any good surfaces that are flat.
That's why it looks so blurry in the light microscope all the time.
Let's see if I fixed it. I feel like I did. Yeah. Yeah, it looks alright. We'll just do this and then that and then make a picture out of it.
I want to paint it.
Okay.
Did you put the last one on Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. See, I don't even have an Instagram right now.
Well, I believe your husband followed me on Instagram.
Yes, he did.
So he could have shown it to you.
I deleted my Instagram, and he lets me know when significant events happen in people's lives.
Good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to.
So that you don't have to engage with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I store lots of things in my other brain. That's
Mhm.
how I usually handle things. Yeah.
Yeah, you mean your wife's brain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my other brain.
Yeah.
It's where really I store most of the important things.
Yeah, my other brain I feel like is better because like it has a functional like circadian rhythm and all that.
Okay.
I don't have one of those.
I kind of like my other brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's all right.
I should hope so.
I only have positive reviews. You know,
Mhm.
5 out of 5 stars.
Mm.
Would marry again.
Anna says all its surfaces are good. You don't need to be flat to be good. All right.
She's just happy I'm taking pictures of the Syra, you know?
Is that her favorite?
I don't know if it's her favorite, but she's like a salty girl, so
Mm. These guys go in the ocean?
yeah. They're more common in the ocean.
Ben Cyan Games says hi.
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 Anna says there is nothing better than a Thalassiosauria.
There you go. Told you she liked them.
Ben says there's 5 days until the solar eclipse. That's true.
You can do math.
Amazing.
And play games.
Fun fact, there are 255 days until I graduate.
You're counting them down.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I have an app.
Oh. I feel like that's just undue pressure. What if you don't get it done by then?
That's not an option.
Okay.
I think I do pretty well under pressure.
I mean, you got a lot of diatoms to count. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
Most of them we haven't even put names on yet. Well, not like, you know, actual names. There's Blobo F.
Blob off.
I'm just gonna call this one Blobo G.
Okay.
Blabog.
Blablog.
Blog. Bob blah blah. I should have called one Bob blah blah. 10. Zoom out. Speed 4. All the basic stuff. Still the same. This is a nice little area right in here. 2 good diatoms for photography right next to each other. If only we could find one of these little guys we're looking for. And it was like face down. Oh. Oh, that's a navicula. A little football-shaped navicula.
How big?
20 microns.
Could be Cranston.
Did you want its picture?
That's okay. I think we already have a Cranston.
Okay.
Ben Cyan Games wants to know if you've seen atoms with this thing.
No. Well, I mean, I've seen them all lumped together into objects.
But you can't go down like to the atom level.
No. Not with a scanning electron microscope. Although, they have something called an ultra fast scanning electron microscope, and it won't let you see atoms, but it will let you see sort of the structure of molecules. They managed to get some images of things that were sort of at that level for large molecules. So, but not atoms. Atoms is taking...
Is that somebody hiding under that rock? No.
Is there someone hiding under the rock? That's a Cerarella. That's actually a nice Cerarella you made me move away from.
Yeah.
Down here?
That? Like a very tiny boy, maybe. No. No.
Not there.
No Craig there, folks.
I'm looking for a moray eel version of him. It's inside the rock. There's like a piece of junk here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this Nitzia.
That might be inconspicuous.
You know what? I think we should take its picture just so that you can count the stri easily and compare it with what you have.
So I can know if it really is Nitsia inconspicua.
Yeah. As little as I like Nitsia, I do feel like there's a purpose in taking their photo in the SEM. Also, you know, it will appease Anna, so, which has got to be at least like, you know, half of what I do anything for, so.
Anna wants to know if you've read the new Nitsia inconspicua paper.
I have not.
He probably will not, unless paid.
Correct.
Anna says she does not like Nitsia either.
Well, nobody likes them. I mean, there might be somebody out there who likes them, but like, I think they're just trying to be counterculture, to be honest. They don't really like them. They just, since everybody else doesn't like them, they think I should like that thing, you know?
She says maybe David Mann does.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
who
think
David Mann is.
Rosa does. Rosa Trabajo. She studies them.
I know what that means.
It means work in Spanish.
You love to tell me the answer right as I'm about to get it.
And Rosa means pink.
Yeah. I used
Pink
to work
work.
with a guy named Jose, and he and I would practice Spanish together because he spoke Spanish. And he often said, too much trabajo.
Not like demasiado trabajo, but just
No,
too much trabajo.
He said it right. He said it right. And I would say it wrong.
Demasiado trabajo
Mm-hmm.
is how they should say it, right? Too much.
The main thing I know how to say in Spanish is ¿Qué tipo de pájaro es? Which means what kind of bird is that?
Parajo, yeah, is
Pájaro.
bird. Que tipo? Tipo type?
Yeah.
What type?
Type of bird is that? Because I was the obnoxious tourist asking the locals about the birds.
Where did you go?
I went to Costa Rica
Oh, okay.
for my flight in 2017.
Well,
cool.
I would have understood what you were asking. So,
Hmm.
and I've only learned Spanish from Duolingo.
Yeah, me too.
So, but I am on day like 530 in a row.
That's cool. If you stop, the bird will kill you.
Oh, well, it's a good thing I don't stop.
Yes.
I'm not afraid of El Bujo.
And if they answered me in Spanish, I would Google it.
Just point your phone at them and let Google tell you what it means.
You can do that now.
Yeah, you can.
You can't do that back in 2017.
I do it all the time with the birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, the new eBird thing where you can listen to the birds and it tells you.
Oh, no, I mean, I just pointed at them and have Google tell me what they're saying.
Oh.
Apparently they say, sail, 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 sail. They're very excited about selling things, or maybe there's a sale.
Chickadees talk about cheeseburgers.
Right, yeah. They also say things about, like, their tea, you know, a lot of conversation about their tea.
Yeah. Flickers, they have the little things with the shockers, and they go, clear.
Is that what they do?
Yeah, they say clear.
They say clear?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Nitsia. What'd you say, inconspicua?
I think so.
Oh, we'll let Anna look it up and see if she believes you
Okay.
in the paper about Nitsia that she has. That she was trying to talk me into reading for no reason. Look at this giant mothership. What do you call this? What's happening?
I think that's Sororella Brad.
Brad?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a beauty. It looks like an Easter egg.
Yeah. Anna says that the paper basically concluded that you can't ID it. So that's super
Do they
helpful.
mean you can't ID it? You can't ID it? Then how did they know what they were looking at?
Sir Squints-a-lot would like to know what's the difference between a Knizia and a pseudo-Knizia.
Well, for starts, pseudonychia are marine organisms. So like rudimentary ecology is a good separation. Also, pseudonychia create toxins through the process of creating something that generates domoic acid, which means that they are typically responsible for amnesiatic shellfish poisoning, whereas Knizia in freshwater systems never do that. If you're asking me how do I tell the difference between them in appearance, I think they just have a different structure. They look kind of similar, but I'm a freshwater guy, so my main way of telling them is I don't know what that is. It's probably pseudonychia.
Anna says they sequenced them in the paper.
Uh-huh.
And she says she has pseudonychia growing on her windowsill.
Well, so she'll know what the difference is. Is it growing on Anna's windowsill, then it's probably pseudonychia.
And then Ariella Studies
Hey,
says...
Ariella, hello.
Totally random, but do you know if it's possible to use SEM to generate 3D renders? It would be so cool to scale up and 3D print some.
This is a great question, Ariella. Do you see this thing? This is actually a diatom that I 3D printed by using only images of diatoms collected on this scanning electron microscope, and this diatom is a species that I described from June Lake. And I did it by taking about 75 photos of the diatom from different positions in the scanning electron microscope. The TestScan Vega 3 has the ability to rotate and not lose track of where you are, and even if it's tilted, so you can rotate the stage. And so I put the sample on there and I did every 10 degrees and then basically turned it at 10 degrees and did every 10 degrees. And then we created one half of the diatom, and then it's been glued together to make it look like it's a whole diatom. But as far as I know, I'm the only person to have successfully ever done this with a diatom only using scanning electron microscope. And that means what I'm holding is not like a model of a diatom, but it's the actual diatom blown up to full size.
You have a lot of comments on this.
I did it before. We did that about 5 or 6 years ago. And then we never published anything about it, but the guy that I was working with, who Alex in our department, is when he first started, I asked him, hey, can you do this? And I gave him a bunch of SEM pictures, and then he put it into the photogrammetry tools that he uses, and we created it.
Wait, Alex Badillo?
Yeah, your friend Alex Badillo. Your friend and mine.
I don't know. He was my professor. I don't know.
Okay, my friend and not yours.
Ariella says there are 12 O's here, and then yes. I was hoping that you'd have already done it.
I have. You'll remember Ariella rated us last time, brought 50 people in.
Oh, amazing.
While you were running the SEM, that was her.
That's how I became famous.
Right, she made you famous. Twitch famous.
Thank you, Ariella. Anna says they don't really look all that differently. She's talking about pseudonychia versus knizia.
Yeah.
Pseudonychia live in colonies, attaching end to end with a small overlap.
Right.
Mine on the windowsill, though, do not form colonies, and they only spent 3 months in culture.
They've already decolonized.
Mm-hmm.
That was fast.
Ariella says the makers and crafters community on Twitch would go nuts for this, referring to your 3D printing.
Well, we also, people have made models of them using like modeling software, but it's not the same as this, right? This is like, I'm holding the real thing, and those things are like a model of it.
Right.
But
Sir Squints-a-lot would like to know if you have the file.
yeah, I have the file.
He also says you should post it.
I have posted it.
They?
I told you guys it was in my Discord. It's also on my Twitch page or Twitter page somewhere.
So people at home can 3D print it?
Yeah, it's an STL. You could print it from your 3D printer.
Cool.
You can size it up to be as big as a hat and make it a hat if you'd like. This thing is Brad. Is that what you were calling it?
Yeah, that's Brad.
Cirrella? Brad.
It might also be possum, but I think it's Brad.
Brad. You think it's Brad? It's Brad.
Okay.
It looks like a Cadbury egg to me.
Yeah, you should do it with the pastel colors.
Oh, make it an Easter, yeah.
Yeah, do an Easter post.
I'll wait till next Easter for that one. Oh, there's another one. Look at this. They're all over here. And you have some not Brads.
Some not Brads.
Some other Cirrellas like this guy.
Oh, I've got...
That's half of a Cirrella.
2 of those. One is slightly more far apart with the...
The ridges?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I named one of them Caterpillar.
It's a good name.
Mm-hmm.
Does kind of evoke the idea of a caterpillar.
Okay,
so
lots
if you
of
go
comments.
on, I think if you go on my Twitter or X or whatever you call it, it's just Diatoms Attack. You should be able to find it. I posted it there, and then
the file for the...
Yeah, and I think it's on the Discord. I think I posted all of the links to the files, but it's like in a Gmail folder or whatever, Google Drive folder somewhere. So that's a Navicula.
Golden Devil 1711 says, "I think I probably knew you before you were famous."
Yeah, of course.
Do
We
we know
go
Golden
back
Devil
for-
in real life?
Not in real life, but I did know them like virtually a long time ago.
Is
Like,
that Craig?
why are you asking me like that?
That could be Craig.
It could be anything at this point.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a Cirrella, or I mean a Slophera. Yeah, it's an internal view of a Slophera.
Anna?
So not Craig.
Rats. Anna says if you could make diatom buttons, you could probably sell them.
Do you mean buttons like for a sweater?
I'm assuming like, little buttons you put on your...
I think my wife has done that.
That'd be cool.
She does like Mod Podging.
Mod Podging.
Yeah. There's like a giant girdle band right there.
It's probably one of Brad's.
Could be. That's a likely target.
And then Ariella says, can I use the file to make diatom keycaps? So
like on your computer keyboard?
So like instead of a letter, it would be maybe a diatom for every letter of the alphabet.
That would be weird, wouldn't it? I feel like maybe it would be challenging to know what you were typing.
Well, if you have all the keys memorized, like I do, it wouldn't be hard.
That is another Nitsia.
Yeah.
And it's a different one, I believe. Or maybe it's the same one, we're just looking at it from the outside. But since we're here...
Corn cob.
It does look like a corn cob. Since we're here... and you need to identify these things, how about I take a picture?
Thank you. Ariella says, artisan keycaps for mechanical keyboards are really popular.
Oh.
And Vanalog says, it sounds horrible, you should 100% do it.
Hi, Vanalog.
Ariella says, you can just put a few on special keys like the escape key.
Diatoms are often like covered with spines and stuff. Like this one, for example. I don't know if you can see those spines, but it actually hurts to pick it up if you're not careful.
Or
so,
mucus. Like
I don't know about like if you turned it into a keycap if you'd like it, because I feel like maybe you'd be stabbing yourself with a bunch of little tiny spines when you push a button. But we could probably get some other diatoms if I focused on it that were like gentler.
Softer ones.
Kinder, gentler diatoms. So this is a 3D printed version of it, and then a friend of mine, his name is Taco. He comes to the. He used to come to the stream a long time ago. He took that file, and then he, I think it was El Taco Meat actually was his name. He took the file for the STL, and then he printed this, and then he made a latex mold over top of it, and then so it was like he put both of them together, and then he made the latex mold, and then he impregnated that with some sort of a resin. And so that clear one that I was playing around with the other day in here, that one is actually like a whole piece. It's not glued together like this one is.
Interesting.
But it's like a very nice fancy version of this thing, which is the 3D printed version of it. And just saying it out loud makes me realize I probably could find that file pretty easily if I just went ahead and looked up Taco in my messages on my Discord to repost it, so that people could find it again.
Do you have a patent on it?
No, it's for public use.
What if somebody started selling it?
Well, then I hope they make a lot of money selling my Diatom thing, I guess. I'd be okay with it.
Nid for Psy says,
Hi, Nid.
Hello, Jeff.
How's it going?
Nice to see you back to streaming.
Yeah, I'm streaming. You caught me.
Ariella says, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to take the 3D print and mount it on a keycap.
Look, this is what that guy did. He took it and then he made it a thing and he mounted it on.
That's a Pokemon.
Yeah, that's a Pokemon, but he did the same thing and then he said, "Oh, people make keycaps out of this stuff." This was like, 2022. That was a while ago.
Cool. Okay, and then she makes a silicone mold from it, and then she makes a bunch of resin keycaps.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, she makes a bunch of money from selling my STL file and turns them into keycaps. I only hope that maybe she would, send some money back to the stream or something eventually, so I can use it to pay for my grad students to go.
Send us some Microscope slides.
Yeah. How do I get this link? Hang on. Copy link. Hey, what are you doing? How do you do this thing on the phone? Let's see. If I go to just chatting, in my Discord now has a link to some SEM, to the SEM one, and then some non-SEM versions of Diatom STL files. So you can just click on that link, or I could post it into chat. Give me a second. This is Anitzia.
TZS.
Oh, do you call him corn cob? I thought you said it just looked like a corn cob.
That's why I call him corn cob.
Accurate. Or, as the students in my lab say, accurate. That there is accurate.
Is that a new TikTok that's...
No. We just like to say things wrong on purpose.
Oh.
And then when I say accurate, people don't know what I'm talking about. And they're like, you mean accurate? Yeah, I do. Except for I mean accurate. You gotta be more accurate.
I did the math today, and Craig is 11% of my first sample.
Okay.
And
he's 0% of what we found so far.
I know, it's very frustrating. And the thing that might be Craig, but might be different, is also 11%.
That's 22%.
Yes.
That means every 5 diatoms we should see one of these things.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, whoever made these stubs did not make them right.
Is there a better technique to get the small guys?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to talk to my lab technician.
Okay. Sir Squincelot said, I'm in Discord now. Can't see the link to the STL file.
Well, it's under just chatting. I promise. There's a picture of a diatom right above it with a heart. But here, let me post it into the chat. Gotta turn down this buzzing noise.
Ariella says, I will definitely keep you updated if I manage to make a keycap.
There.
We probably won't make any money, but at least I can send you a keycap.
I would take a keycap.
I would take a keycap too.
I don't know what I would do with it.
Put it on your keyboard.
My keyboard at home has got like rainbow colors and lights going through it, so it probably would look really good on the The rest of the time I'm on my laptop, which doesn't have a colorful keyboard and probably shouldn't.
Anna says, of course there are techniques targeting smaller diatoms. It's just too fussy. Would you elaborate on that?
Yeah, you have to do a bunch of like, you know how we like shook up the sample and then I drained out the clay?
Mm-hmm.
You could do something similar. Just instead of pipetting it out and pipetting it into a different sample, like after it's settled a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That would get rid of these rocks. These giant boulders of silt you have in your sample.
Mm-hmm.
All these things that are here that look like boulders on our field of view are dust.
Yeah.
Just
that's
for
cool.
clarity, that's dust. Look at this big guy.
Wow.
That is a big navicula. It's almost like 50 microns across.
Mm.
You have any big naviculas?
I don't think Bert's that big.
No, it's not Bert. I know Bert, and you, sir, are no Bert.
Let's see. We have a borderline political comment. Should I read it?
If you feel comfortable.
Okay. So Fall Machine 1790 says 11%, Craig. That's enough to win the Electoral College vote, right?
That one's fine. Fall Machine's an okay person. You can read all of his comments.
Okay. And then he says 4 more Craigs, 4 more Craigs.
Instead of 4 more years.
Uh-huh. So,
Do you have any named Joe?
no, I don't.
I feel like that's a middle-aged white man name.
Yeah, it is. It's just not as funny. But I can name one Joe.
We've got to find a Joe before we can name a Joe.
It would be funnier as like Jobadiah.
What you should do is get people in the chat to, if they make a donation or something,
They can have a diatom named
they can
after
have
them.
one of the diatoms that you count named after them.
Yes.
And then you'll call them whatever that is.
Okay.
Because there's a scheme. There's a scheme to make some money for you. And then you can eat like an adult, you know?
Yay.
You can stop being a poor college student who has to only eat pizzas when the department make you.
Yeah.
Did they let you take home the pizzas from the forced pizza eating?
No, you just gotta binge eat the whole thing.
They won't let you walk out with pizza? Like,
I've
not even if
I've never
nobody
been
else is eating it?
offered a pizza.
But what if everybody didn't eat all the pizza, or do they always eat all the pizza?
I don't know. I'm
I
sure
feel like-
something is done with it.
You think
I
maybe it's
am
just
a
going to
little
Rusty?
bit tired of-
I think like maybe Rusty's sitting around eating the pizza.
Not to look a gift pizza in the mouth, but I'm a little bit tired of Papa John's for the 12th week in a row.
You shouldn't be eating Papa John's.
I know. It's a carcinogen.
I don't know about that. I am a doctor, but not that kind of doctor.
Okay, somebody said, Vanalog says, an okay person. One day I hope to get a glowing recommendation like that.
Vanalog, you're an okay person. You
I
can
don't
say whatever you
remember-
like.
Who did you call an okay person?
Fall Machine.
Oh, okay.
They've been here for a long time. Not just today, but like...
Ariella says, find a cute one to name Ariella. A cute one? Like a really small one? That one's pretty cute.
I thought we had a name for that. That was a navicula.
Was it Bert?
I don't know if it was Bert.
Bert's pretty common. Bert's like, I think Bert was 9% of the sample. So I'm just
Could be
confused
Bert.
why there's no Craigs in here.
Well, I'm not looking at the right sample for that. I'm at the sample of the
Oh,
next one
right,
over
right,
that
right.
you haven't counted yet. But that is not a navicula.
Is it a luticula?
It is a luticula. Look at you. Just throwing out names.
Because it has a puncta.
It does have a puncta, but I don't actually think it's a luticula now.
Oh, rats.
Oh, it's like a stigma. I need to look up here because this looks like maybe it's got an apical pore field. You see this?
Oh.
It's got an apical pore field. And now I'm confused by what I'm looking at.
Me too.
Because it should be a cymbella.
But it's not banana shaped.
That's what I thought. Which makes it interesting. Cymbella falsa, potentially?
Oh.
It doesn't look like Diluviana, but maybe.
Fall Machine says that's absolutely going on my headstone. You are accurate.
Accurate.
Accurate. He didn't spell it right.
That's right. He didn't spell it accurately.
Stream Elements, which is that a person or is that a bot?
That's the bot.
Okay, the bot has reported that Bensign Games has been following Diatoms' attack for 2 years, 11 months, 26 days, and 20 hours.
It's a pretty long time.
It's dedication.
Yeah.
Almost
They're just
3
trying to get the
years.
diatom named after them, I think maybe by showing off.
Sir Squintalot said he looked through your publications and couldn't find one detailing sample prep for SEM stubs.
Well, that's weird. Did you try one of the ones where I described a species? Because those all have SEM prep stubs. But I can just tell you. Usually what we do is, so if you could just send me the sample without preparing it, and we can prepare it here as a note. But usually what we do is digest the material that it comes in. If you're trying to, I think he wants to send me his poop samples with poop with diatom in it.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's like fish poop or copepod poop, but he wasn't clear. It might have been his own poop if he'd been eating a lot of diatoms. But usually if we do that, it breaks down everything into, just the diatom material, but we put it in hydrogen peroxide, typically 30% hydrogen peroxide. You usually need a fume hood for that. So if you're not like a science dude or lady, you probably don't have access to a fume hood. You could do it outside, but you kind of have a hard time getting hold of 30% hydrogen peroxide. The other thing that we usually use is nitric acid, which is more like 65% nitric acid. But again, I recommend a fume hood, and also it's very difficult to get nitric acid, like if you're not on the government list for people that they say are okay to have it.
He says it's plankton poop.
Yeah, you could probably just send it to me unless you got to send it, unless you're like out of the country, and then it might be challenging to get the poop through
Customs.
If you try to send it through customs, I recommend not saying it's poop. I would recommend saying it is geological samples.
They like that better.
They like that a lot better. If you tell them it's poop, I'm going to guess they're going to open it and they're going to be very disappointed.
And you as a person.
Oh, well, among other things.
Just plain plankton / diatoms.
You could just send it to me in a vial if it's like in the US. Dry it out and put it in an envelope. Or just send it in a vial. We can process it here. It's a lot easier because we got a fume hood and access to nitric acid and hydrogen peroxide. And then usually what we do after it's been digested for a while in those chemicals is rinse all those chemicals out, and then it's basically just diatoms and dirt in there. And then we pipette it up and put it on a cover slip or onto a scanning electron microscope stub. And then we coat it with gold, and then we stick it in the SEM. But if you sent it to me on a stub already, then we would just coat it with gold. It's the final step.
He wants to know about the adhesives.
We just dry it right onto the stub. We don't actually use any kind of adhesive. If you were to put it onto a filter, like if you had a tool that would let you put the plankton onto filter paper, then we would just cut the little piece of filter paper and we would use carbon tape to attach it. That's what these sorts of things are. So, nope, that sample's dried right on there. It's like little pieces of carbon tape with on a filter that are, attaching it to SEM stub, which is then mounted into a carousel. Sir
Squints-a-lot says, will that survive shipping through mail?
Will it survive shipping through the mail?
Probably if you wrap it in bubble wrap.
If you put enough bubble wrap around it? Is that what you're trying to tell him?
Yeah. He's gonna send you a vial.
Yeah, it'll survive. I mean, I would send a plastic vial, or I would wrap it up in some bubble wrap, or just wrap it up in, like, anything that you would put semi-precious stuff in.
Does this mean that a new person followed us?
Thank you for following, yeah.
On this one, too. Niels Wistenine.
Yeah, part of the game. Just throw that on the ground. She threw it on the ground! Part of the game on Twitch is to make your name so impossible to read sometimes that nobody knows what it is.
Oh, I just signed up and I made mine Jenna Loves Turtles.
See? Now everybody knows how to follow you.
That's too easy.
Falsa? I think maybe it's Symbella Falsa. But it could just be a Gomphanema. That's another choice. It could be a weird...
club-shaped or banana-shaped.
I know, but it could be a weird Gomphanema. I'm just telling you. Like, straight up, it could be.
Okay.
I only saw football on one end, so it might not be Symbella Falsa.
Okay. Somebody had a question, but I can't find it now.
Is it one I can answer? Or is it going to be like a contemplative question about how their belly button works? Or
Do you get a lot of those?
Sometimes.
I guess maybe there wasn't a question, and I just...
Was it more like a question comment?
Sir Squincelot did say vibrations and shock, question mark, but I was confused as to what he was referring to there.
Whether or not it would break the sample. Look, there's another one of those things. It's planethidium again.
Rats.
It might be the same one. That one there is the one you were calling...
Bert?
Bert.
Mm-hmm.
That one has protruding ends.
Yeah, just like Bert.
Oh, like Bert and Ernie Bert?
Yeah.
Okay. It could have been any Bert. I didn't want to make assumptions.
Here's a question. What does it mean to be a diatom? Do we mean like philosophically?
I'm not sure what that word was.
Philosophically? Is that correct?
Philosophically? Sure, philosophically. Well, it could be, couldn't it?
If we don't find Craig, what should I do?
Make more samples.
Oh. Can I continue counting?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So my goal is to do one slide per week, and if I do that for the rest of time, I will be done in August, which is just in time to start the next round of samples.
I don't see a Rafi.
Anna says, "Did you find him?" I hope so, but I don't know.
I don't see a Rafi.
He's very blank.
He's not blank. He's just lightly silicified.
Okay.
And then maybe there's a little bit of clay on it, but this could be it.
Anna says, one slide a week. I want to count at that rate.
Is that your plan? Was that your plan?
That was my plan. Because I have a lot of classes, and also I have 86 species per slide, and also, I don't know, it's a conservative goal. Can do more than that.
When you're done with classes, you'll have a lot more time.
I hope so, yeah. I'm going to be a full-time diatomist in the fall.
Full-time diatomist? That sounds like a good job.
Bensai and Games says, do you know astronomy, my favorite science?
I've heard of it before.
And then Vanalog says, just tell ChatGPT to count for you.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's well known for its skills in diatom identification.
Anna says, have you read Rivers of London?
No.
Me neither. And then Sapertus Maximus wants to know, are there diatoms in space?
Hey Sap, how's it going? Can you type this in? Oh, I'll do it. I was gonna say.
You can't say it?
No, I just forgot we should be shouting people out because I got lazy when you started doing my job.
Oh, sorry.
Reading chat. So I wanted to send Ariella a shout out. Please follow our friend Ariella. If you don't, she won't make me keycaps for my computer. So.
I just followed her with my brand new Twitch account.
Look at that. I snuck in, watched her a little bit yesterday. She was having a work, I don't know what they call that, co-working stream, where she had like a list of things she was doing, and you could watch her type.
You're working.
Couldn't see what she was
streaming.
typing, but yes, but no.
Yes, but
That's like you're working your way through a list of things at your computer, and you're working and they're working.
Okay.
So, co-working.
Okay.
And then like you can, and she had like a list of things that she had done, and she was crossing them off.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part of getting things done.
I don't make lists. I'm not a list maker.
Missing out on some sweet dopamine, man.
Possibly. I'm pretty sure that thing there is a little messed up, but it doesn't have a ray fee, so I'm guessing that's the array fed valve of our Samethidium. I think that is it.
Anna says Rivers of London are known in the U.S. as Midnight Riot. Maybe you read that? Also, did you come around to reading Fragile Threads of Power? I think we talked about that book in some long ago stream.
I haven't read it yet. But I will add it to my long list of books to read.
Wait, you said that's Samethidium, so could it be Craig?
Yeah, could be. I haven't discounted it as a possibility.
Would you like me to pull up my pictures of Craig? Would that be helpful?
I don't think so, because they're pretty blurry.
Okay. Just throwing some shade at me on stream.
No, it won't help. I need the other valve.
Okay.
I was just being funny.
That's okay. I'm not offended.
I knew you wouldn't be, that's why I said it.
Wish we could just get in there with a spatula and flip him over.
I cannot tell you how many times that would have saved me, like, days of SEM work.
Yeah.
If I could just get in there with a spatula. Although I think maybe a spatula would be the wrong size.
A very small spatula.
There are so many diatoms that I had that were exactly what I was looking for, and I could only get an internal view, and I needed an external view, and I was like, guess we're gonna keep looking. Literally spent 24 hours on the, not in a row, on the SEM, like 3 8-hour days on the SEM, and could not find an external view. And when I kept finding internal views, and that is the most frustrating thing.
When you like publish your new species, how many photos do you have to have of that?
In the SEM,
Yeah.
you need a minimum of usually 6 photos, so that you could
that's not so
show
bad.
what happens on the inside and the outside of the whole valve,
Mm-hmm.
and then usually the ends of the apex, like inside and outside apex, and the inside and the outside center,
Mhm.
zoomed in well enough you could see the details. So if you had the right types of photos, typically you need about 6.
Is that a planethidium?
That is planethidium.
Yeah.
See how good you're getting at that now?
Well,
Just, you know what it is.
but it's upside down.
Well, it's the inside of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a planethidium.
It's kind of hard to say which way is upside down in the stub,
Yeah.
because I can turn it like this. I can rotate it.
Well, I mean, it's spatula.
if you flipped it
It's
over,
K1-less.
right? Yeah. Oh, it's the Rafie valve.
Sapertus Maximus says, I'm learning stuff. Me
Gross. Just gross. I can't. I really should have warned people with like an educational tag at the bottom of my stream.
too. Is there one?
I don't know. I don't know what I use for tags. Was I supposed to be keeping track of that? Let's look. Here, this is on mute. What's it say? Nope. I have fossils, dam removal, which I'm sure I'm the only person streaming about dam removal. Algae and diatoms, probably the only person streaming about those things. There are some people who stream on a microscope besides me, but SEM, that's pretty much only me. Photography, family friendly, chilled in English. I feel like it's accurate.
Chilled.
Chilled. That's like I'm laid back. With
Gotcha.
my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Oh, okay.
Sipping on my gin and juice.
Sir Squints-a-lot would like to know if the stubs are aluminum or something else.
Aluminum.
But they're coated in gold.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah. But they start off aluminum. Aluminum linoleum. Aluminum linoleum. We had to used to, that's how we used to practice.
Aluminium.
That's how the English people say it,
Mhm.
man. Oh, look, it's a Melisira, where we can see all the cool little spines.
Melocyritherians.
Yeah, that one. You can see all the cool little spines on the outside.
It's awesome. Not as cool as Thalassacra.
Keep trying.
I live in an anemone.
When I was in high school, which, you know, different geologic era, I would have to practice for theater saying things like aluminum linoleum. And I didn't like that one so much. Not that I couldn't say it, I just didn't find it as a challenging enough tongue twister for me to practice saying things. So instead, I always practice saying, you can make a proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. And
A proper cup of coffee?
in a copper coffee pot.
Okay.
Because I liked that one.
Yeah.
It was fun to say. And then I would just try to say it as fast as I could.
That's a good one. I don't think I've heard that one.
Yeah, it's unusual too. That's another thing I like about it. You know, it's not like she sells seashells.
Sapertus Maximus says, I'd love to stream my SEM work, but that's not going to happen in my current lab.
You don't have a computer that's hooked up to it? Or your people in your lab don't let you... Oh, could it be you're looking at really sensitive stuff? Could that be
Government
it?
secrets.
Secret government stuff.
And then Anna, is it Anna or Anna?
Well, she's Russian, so just say it however you like. She's not going to be happy with any of your pronunciation.
Well, she said I checked. You were the only one with a Diatoms tag.
Okay. Well,
Fall Machine 1790 said, so floor plan, a roof plan, a front and side elevation, and 2 building sections are needed to publish a new one.
yeah, pretty much. That's it. This is a different planethidium.
Yeah, I have one that looks like that.
And this is the Rafie valve. So there's a cavum, but it's underneath here. Inside. Or on the outside, unfortunately.
We've seen like 12 planethidium and no cavum.
Are you excited to see a cavum?
Yeah, I like cavums.
You're not using the exciting version of the name, though.
The Hufeisen?
Hufeisen!
She said we're also the only ones with the tag dam removal.
I'm guessing that one. That was what I figured that was the case. There's a lot of people out there that are... It's the latest up-and-coming thing on Twitch. So...
Well, it'd be cool. I should have live streamed when they were taking it down.
You could have, had you had a Twitch account back then.
Yeah.
And a phone.
I did have a phone. I've got a lot of video of it.
You could pretend like it's live happening, and you could, you know, like, play it as a video, and then
Right.
just while they're ripping it out, be like, oh my god! And no one would know. You just tell them it's a different dam that's being removed, and they
Yeah.
really wouldn't know because they couldn't even look it up.
There's just a lot of like fall trees in that video, so that might cue people in this time of year.
You might have to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it next fall.
Yeah. It'll give you time to get good at streaming, and then when fall comes around, you'll be like, check out, guys, I got this dam removal. It's super cool. And then, like 12 hours of a machine digging logs out of a river.
It was like, yeah, it took a long time, but there were so many people just watching. People brought their freshmen.
I got nothing else to do. Just
It was
sit on the
me.
lawn chair, get the popcorn
Yeah.
out. Yeah, let's watch them take this dam down.
It was me and every retired person in the town.
So, did they bring you donuts or anything? Rude. What else did they got to do? You should have them go get you something.
Yeah, I had to leave early to come to class. It was your class.
Ridiculous. My class?
Yeah. Yeah, it was removed on Monday morning. We gotta.
Oh, the Diatom taxonomy class.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, what class was I running that you had to leave for?
Anna said if you tilt that planethidium, you'd see more useful characters on the mantle.
We don't need to see it. I know which one this is. It's Planethidium rostratum.
Oh. I already knew that.
Yeah. I don't know what you call it, but I don't need to see the side of it.
Saprodus Maximus says, gotta run, you kids have fun with your diatoms.
I mean, I always do. Pretty much, if there's diatoms, I'm having fun.
That's good. Because you're always probably in the vicinity of diatoms.
Well, that's not necessarily true, but when I work, I usually am.
Or
Yeah.
if you're near a body of water.
Sometimes when I go to work, there's no diatoms in the thing I'm looking at, and then I'm unhappy, right? Like homework. I gotta grade that all the time, or tests if there's no diatoms. I don't like that, but I'm working.
Right.
I should have turned down the beam intensity. I could have made this picture even better.
I think it looks good.
Amateur. This is not a... This is a planothidium. Planothidium. Rostratum. It looks very flat. Very flat.
Fall Machine 1790 said, anybody out there with dam removal though? And he spelled it like dam.
Damn. Removal.
This damn project I'm working on, man.
That's the way you should make puns.
I do. We do frequently make puns.
Like for your posters and stuff.
Yeah, I think I should maybe publish it with a damn pun.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly the puns are made during field work.
Oh, a lot of damn puns.
A lot of damn puns going on. Any luck finding the elusive Greg? Someone said, half dead 422.
Hey, they're here from the last time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are still looking for Craig. It's Craig, not Greg.
Do we find a Greg, though? I thought we did
maybe
find a Greg.
found half of a Craig, but the wrong half.
I mean,
correct?
that's true. I just meant Greg.
Yeah, okay, so there's Greg, there's a Salafra named Greg, and then there's a Samathidium named Craig. Not anybody's fault for not picking up that subtle differentiation.
Well, I feel like it's somebody's fault.
Oh, he said, I know, I made sure to say the wrong name just to troll you.
See? Welcome to Twitch.
Yeah, alright, it worked.
We did find probably the aeraphid valve.
So, can we, like, count the striae and stuff and
Yeah.
still...
We can probably tell what it is from that.
Okay.
I'm still looking for the Raphy valve, though, just
Mm-hmm.
for the sake of completeness.
Yeah. It's good to have completeness.
Yeah. And I feel like our viewers would really like it if we accomplished a thing.
Yeah, had some closure.
Yeah, for the closure. I'm here for your closure. And hers.
Yeah.
Everybody,
for my
everybody but
advisor
mine.
to think that I'm doing things well.
Well, how would he know? This is the mistake you made, is pretending he knows anything about diatoms, because he doesn't. So you could be like, look at all these cool diatoms, and then you could have just fudged a bunch of names that weren't like old white people names, but instead sounded scientific.
Oh, I can do that.
What you could do, I'm just throwing this out there for like, you know, not for publication, but just to like get your advisor to think she really knows what she's talking about, is go on to ChatGPT and put diatom, like fake diatom names. Give me a list.
I feel like I can. You just add like a double I to the end of anything. That sounds Latin.
Yeah. Well, you'll make sure not to put words that don't sound Latin that way. Yeah, and then
there's Bert.
Yeah, I said that was Bert. Inside Out Bert. Yeah, and there's another one of those Nitsias, right? Oh, it's not a Nitsia.
Is it a Chiblino?
It's Simonson. What is that diatom called?
I have no idea.
Where is Anna with her quick answers when I need them?
Anna says Simoncenia.
Simoncenia, yeah.
Simon
Yeah, it's named after Simonson.
Simon says Senia.
Simonson was the person it's named after.
Simoncenia.
Yeah. I've never actually seen this in the SEM or in a light microscope.
Wow.
And then if you're wondering, how did I know what it was? I teach a class on diatom taxonomy.
That's true, I took that class.
And we had this as one of our things.
It was fairly educational.
And I was like, never had this thing, don't have to worry about finding it.
Ooh,
guess
lied
what?
to us.
I haven't had it before, but now I've had it. So future classes will now have to learn this diatom better.
So why did you say that we would never find it? Is it not usually?
No, I said, like I gave you guys assignments every week.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, you'll never have this because I haven't found it before. I've never seen one that I was sure was it. But this one I'm sure.
So what differentiates it from Nitsia?
The connecting pieces from the raphe onto the valve face have this huge sort of depression.
It's a depressed Nitsia.
I wouldn't go that far. But these things are called fibulae, these connecting pieces, and the fibulae connect like normal Nitsia and go across the entire valve face like normal Nitsia. But normal Nitsia do not have this pit right here.
Can you see that in the light microscope or only on the SEM?
You can kind of see it. I mean, it's a pit, so yes. If you're capable of seeing pits, then yes. It's like a Nitsia with pits. Pitsia, if you will.
Anna says, how can you teach it if you can't show it?
Well, other people have pictures of it. Just because I don't have a slide of it doesn't mean I can't teach it. I can look at other people's pictures, which is what we do. In class, I talk about, here's what it is, and here's how you can tell what it is, but you won't get it as an assigned homework exercise because I didn't have any of them. I still don't have any of them because these are your slides. You'd have to make me some slides that had this in it, and then I would have it.
Well, if I graduate, you can have my MMDU2 slide.
Okay.
Because, that's
you
what
might be
that's
missing
from.
it later on.
You think so? Or we could make an extra one.
You might be missing it later on. If you decide you're going to become a diatomist, and then you have this collection, and then you'd be like teaching people diatom taxonomy in the future, and I'll be like, oh man, I wish I would have kept that slide.
But Dr. Stone will never give it back.
It had Simonsonia.
Okay, I'll make you an extra slide.
Simonsonia. Simonsonia.
Anna said, I remember the taxonomy class I took, and it was an endless stream of things to look at. It's true.
Well, I give them an assignment every week, and they have to figure out what it is, and it's never this thing.
That narrows it down quite a bit.
That doesn't mean they didn't have to learn it. They did still have to learn it for the quiz,
Mhm.
but they didn't have to know it for the homework. Or if they saw something that was Initia, they had to know, like, it's not Initia because, or it's not this one because it has these pits, right?
Mhm.
So it's like halfway between a Initia and a Cervarella.
Oh, okay.
Or if you'd like a Denticula and a Nitsia.
I might have that on my slide, and I'm just calling it a Nitsia.
Well, that's probably something that you've made a horrible mistake.
Mm.
You'll need to rectify.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we saw it in the scanning electron microscope, but also keep in mind this isn't a diatom slide that you've counted yet.
Right.
So in the future when you get to it, you'll be like, I know that one. It's got those pits. Looks like it's got pointy ends, and it looks like otherwise looks like a Nitsia.
I think I called it Nitsia wheat.
Is Raw Poker here? Thought I smelled something terrible in the chat. How's it going, Raw Poker?
Can I go to the bathroom and then come back?
I am not in control of your position on the planet Earth.
That's valid.
You might want to prop the door open because I sometimes get like involved with SEM stuff and don't realize you're stuck outside.
Okay, I will.
Also, you can send them messages from chat from the toilet now. It's got to be the best part of having an account. Simonson, yeah. Simonsonia. I'm glad I stopped for that one. Could have been an Itzia, and I'd have just been disappointed. It didn't look like one, though, so that was my clue. Let's see, it's like 180 where we were. I think we were exactly upside down before. I'm going to move us back. Left is right, up is down. I should send out these shout outs to people that are just hanging out at my channel not being shouted out. And let's see, Sap? Yeah. Oh, it didn't auto. There. Give a shout out to Sapertimus. Play music on the old Twitch streams and play some cool songs, so you might check them out. And in a second I'll try to send out a shout out to our friend Vanalog, who's here. Does a lot of like puzzle streams on Twitch, community puzzle streams where you could help Vanalog put a puzzle together in real time if you're into puzzles and hanging out. Not sure, but I think that's a Salafra. It's elongated. And a little too big for what we were looking for. You made it back.
Did I miss anything?
Yeah, lots of cool stuff happened.
Some rocks.
It was super exciting. I would tell you about it, but it would be hard to explain.
I'll just have to rewatch the entire stream.
Yeah, I would skip over the part where I was here and you weren't. Just watch the part where you were here. Get to the good stuff.
Okay. Okay, I'll do my job again. We got an amphora.
That is an amphora. It's the little Nariensis guy that we saw before.
Mm-hmm.
Which I believe we already imaged. I saw a...
We imaged it in Girdle View, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's the one we put googly eyes on?
Yeah, we put googly eyes on it. I don't think anybody screenshotted the googly eye bit, though, which is unfortunate.
I know that one. I'm calling that one banana.
Banana.
Ensynema banana, but now I feel like it's amphora.
It's an amphora.
Yeah.
It's actually a hal amphora.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that one. She pretty.
You know, instead of calling it banana, you could call it Ariella. Just sitting right there.
Yeah.
Just sitting right there.
Ariella, is that one cute and pretty enough for you?
I'm not sure she's still here.
Oh, rats.
Well, you could ask.
Okay, do you want me to go back in the chat? Have you been looking at it?
I have not. I've been busy running the SCM.
That's valid. Somebody said that your pictures are indeed very enjoyable.
Okay.
So that is rather a compliment.
Checks out.
Maybe they're talking about you. There's no context.
Like, they could have been talking to anybody in the channel who posted their Instagram,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. I think maybe that is what happened. Because somebody posted... Wait.
Snaky mistakey.
Somebody said that this diatom looks like a tiny leech.
Somebody said that Snaky mistakey said they made a Twitch just to watch you diatom. It sounds like maybe they know you.
Oh, I think that's probably Gabby. Hi, Gabby.
Are they snaky mistakey?
Well, Gabby likes snakies.
Is Gabby the one that sits in the lab with you?
Uh-huh.
Gabby's usually in my labby.
That was terrible.
Being snaky mistakey.
Aww. I made a Twitch just to,
chat in here
just
by
to
herself.
ask Dr. Stone if I could come in.
I feel like that's you wanted to make a Twitch account and you tried to use me as an excuse, I think.
No, I was locked out of this room. You really are horrible at reading Twitch chat. That's true. I probably misinterpreted that whole... Not even sure what's going on.
Wow. They
But
feel really comfortable insulting you,
Eh,
you know?
I-
She's here being a millennial, farming her research for internet content, and you're being rude to her?
I don't know how to read Twitch chat. Fall Machine in 1790 says, "Hi Gabby, welcome to the Diatom site known as Twitch." Yes, this site is 100% about diatoms.
Yeah, that's why everybody comes to Twitch for diatoms, and that's why my stream is so popular.
Gabby knows some of my diatoms.
Does she call them by their old man names or their real names?
They're old man names.
Okay.
She probably knows that this is
Banana?
banana.
Except for we're not calling it banana anymore.
Yes.
This one is now Ariella.
Yes.
And I'm going to post a picture somewhere of Ariella so that Ariella can see it. I think I can find her Discord.
Did you say what this one is really? Do you
Helen
know?
Flora.
Helen Flora, do you know?
Vanita, maybe? Or Coffeeiformis?
Okay.
I get them confused.
Gabby says, "I know Banana and Bert and Croissant and several others."
We haven't seen a croissant.
Croissant. That's the one I showed you. It's epithemia, I think.
That was my guess. People usually call that mustache diatom, though.
Really?
So, yeah.
The amphora with the mustache is mustache.
I don't know what to tell you. Everybody has a different idea of what a mustache looks like. This is a hal amphora? I don't remember which one. Probably Bonita, but... it would look good, though.
Pathogen CS said, I finally made it to a stream.
Pathogen is Mason.
Mason who?
The guy who always misses the... he misses the hacky sack. When we kick it and there's nobody gets it, we blame Mason.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. That guy.
That's excellent.
Out here,
Yeah, it's pretty
put some
good.
Akbar eyes on that thing.
I like that.
Way out here, on the edges. And
He
then...
looks so sad that way.
Well, he's going to look better here in a second
Frowny
because
face.
we're going to put a Yosemite Sam mustache on him.
Okay.
Oops, I need to do that. There we go. He's got a Yosemite Sam mustache. And now he's having a rootin' tootin' good time.
I love him.
So
He needs cowboy boots.
I'm afraid I didn't have cowboy boot art clipped in.
That's too bad.
But what you should do now is, like make it big on your phone
Uh-huh.
and take a screenshot.
Okay.
You can click and get rid of chat even, make it even bigger,
Are you assuming I know how to work my own phone?
like that. There. I'm my own audience and I can post it in my own Discord. I don't need you guys anymore. Now he doesn't look sad though, right? He just looks like he's having a great time.
Anna doesn't think it's Bonita.
Okay. I didn't say it was definitely Bonita. I said it was probably like Coffeeiformis or Bonita, one of those things. Montana. There's a whole bunch of them. They all kind of look the same.
Montana?
Yeah.
It also says it looks like a sad monster. It does, which is what I like about it.
He's got a mustache. You can't be sad.
You can be sad with mustache.
Look, Koganis just subscribed. He's on a
Amazing.
30-month streak. For 30 months in a row, they've paid $5 so they could have my emotes.
That's amazing.
It's pretty amazing. That's like at least $10 worth of money.
Yeah, that could buy us at least one microscope slide.
I mean, lots more than one. Ventral side is kind of wrong for Montana. See, she's just over here. I don't have the books in front of me. I'm not a hal amphora expert. I'm just guessing. It's hal amphora, though. I will guarantee that. Yeah. It was good. That was good. We got mustache in. I like to get at least one googly eye and a mustache in a stream. So we got that checked off. That's how I know we're doing good stuff, because there's googly eyes. And,
Do you want me to announce when people subscribe or follow? Is following different than subscribing?
following just means when we stream, they'll know that it happens, and then it'll pop
Subscribe.
up in their list of streamers
Okay.
on the side.
Gotcha.
And they can do that for free. Anybody could follow me if they wanted to, like, know when's the next time I'm going to do something. When's the next time they're going to be able to see, Craig.
The elusive Craig.
Yeah, this mysterious Craig person who we've only seen in upside down mode.
Who is that?
I don't know what that is.
Monstrosity.
No, it's not a monstrosity, but you're close. It's like a Nitzia in Girdleview or something.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Or a Triblinella, maybe. You have a big Triblinella?
Peanut's pretty big.
No, it's not that one.
Ooh, who's that?
That's not peanut shaped. Oh, that's a Nitsia.
Rats.
Those dots go all the way across. That's like that corn cob one.
Rats.
Rats. You gotta watch your language, ma'am. I have a family-friendly
I
tag.
know, I saw that.
So
Probably
we
should've
don't
warned
tolerate
you before I came in.
we don't tolerate people swearing in our channel.
Mm.
So I mean, we can just barely say the word Nitsia. That's what I'm saying. Just barely. Yeah, that's Nitsia. No, I mean Melisira. That one there,
Mm-hmm.
with all the cool little
The
processes. This is how it connects to its friends,
Wow.
Velcro style.
Sure is texturous.
Yeah, looks like nothing in the normal light microscope though. Totally uninteresting normally.
One of those thick old souffle pancakes.
Now I want pancakes. I wonder if anything exciting happened in my life while I've been in here in the SEM lab.
Probably. Gyro Sigma.
Yeah, that's a gyrosigma,
Attenuatum.
if you say so.
Anna says the closest thing to monstrosity is Monstera, but I don't think it would fit under an SEM.
This is a girdle view of a Cervarella.
Gabby says, how many people do you think are looking for the tag dam removal on here on a daily basis?
We already had this conversation, sneaky mistakey.
Well, we are the only ones currently streaming dam removal, but more people than that could be looking for it.
They would all be in here because we're the only ones streaming.
Mm-hmm.
This is the hot spot for dam removal conversation.
Yeah. And for dam jokes.
Especially if you have like a Claude Van Damme dam joke.
Gotcha. Yes, we have cornered the market. Anna says life in general is happening outside your lab. Send proof.
Also, make sure that you do it with like a newspaper so we know what day it is for sure.
Oh, I've seen that guy. He's huge.
He is huge.
Who do you think that is?
What do you mean, who do I think it is? I know who that is. I don't know what you call it.
I've only seen one.
This here is a curticula.
Oh.
In the light microscope, we usually identify curticula by the fact that their striae cross each other in these little squares. Like you got lines going this way and lines going that way.
Gotta write down curticula.
Yeah, this is curticula cuspidata.
Oh, amazing.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
I have made it my life's goal to learn all the diatoms, so
In the world?
that I see.
It's a lofty goal.
It's only like 30,000 or 40,000 or 200 and 200, 100,000. Could be 2 million.
Gorgonex said Clarence, which is a great name for that diatom.
We haven't named any Clarence. Well, she hasn't.
Do you remember this scene from Airplane? Where he goes,
What's the
Roger,
Clarence?
Roger, what's your Clarence?
Yeah.
Clarence?
Of course.
It's Clarence.
That's a classic.
None of my students got that reference.
You know what that's a sign of?
That I'm aging.
Yeah. You're past aging.
Oh no. That one looks like the bottom of a kayak, someone says. That's
Does look
very
a
true.
lot like that. It's not what it is, though.
A lot of them are boat-shaped, though.
Correct.
Somebody said, Fall Machine 1790 said, what removal? Hold on there. You have any idea how much work it takes to build a dam? It's valid. This research project is looking at the removal of Markle Mill Dam, which happened October 9th here in Terre Haute. So we've got samples from before they removed the dam, and then going to take samples from after they removed the dam and compare.
It's a classic trick in science. The before-after.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a good picture right here. This is going to be a good one.
I like it. I feel like that would be a nice texture
Yeah.
if you could touch it.
It's like fly swatter. Has a similar texture.
Oh, I was thinking more like
You know, like
bumpy.
yeah, fly swatters are bumpy.
No, they're reverse bumpy. 'Cause they got holes in them.
This has holes in it.
Yeah.
You're making my case for me.
Okay. Vanalog says, "Surely you can't be serious." Yes, I can, and don't call me Shirley.
Exactly. He gets it.
Mm-hmm.
Bensai and games. There's snow outside your window. Bensai and games is a streamer.
It snowed here today. A slight
Just trying to see
flurry.
if I saw that. I was outside when it happened, actually. There, now I'm following you, Bensai and games. Peace frog. Looks like a canoe. Yeah. Smurf inserter. Smurf inserter? Smurf inserter.
I didn't read that one because I was confused by it.
Yeah, unger was overdone. They're doing like the microphones on airplanes still. It didn't really stick. It was just like, it was raining like a mist, a really fine mist, and then it turned into like a snow mist for a couple of seconds.
And it was really windy
Yeah, and I don't think it would send very well.
and yucky. It was generally yucky.
That's a technical term.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Pinky's here. Hi, Pinky. I'm just looking back to see if I missed anything, because I heard from some of this people in chat that the person I had reading chat wasn't very good at it, so...
Well, you know, I didn't go to school for that.
You're still in school.
It's true.
Hey,
But it's not
Micro
my major.
Miranda's here. You gotta... They said hi, and you didn't even say hi to them.
Oh.
You have one job.
Wait, I didn't miss a hi.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Oh, I'm so
From
sorry.
Micro Miranda. That's another streamer.
No, I think I called that one out.
I don't think you did. I would have noticed.
Hmm.
Do you learn about your mushrooms you photograph?
Do you
I have
photograph mushrooms?
I'm not a mushroom person, but I have a friend who's a mushroom person, and I do sometimes like learn about things. But you know, usually I just try to figure out what it is. So, but we do have a streamer that's like a mushroom person that I'm friends with.
That's cool.
She hasn't streamed in a long time though, so Criticula cuspidata.
Cuspida.
Yeah. I don't know, it doesn't look like a tooth to me, but that's what that word means.
Oh.
Bicuspid, you know. I'm
Mm.
sure you're familiar with that one.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with the concept of teeth.
Oh, really?
I've heard of them.
That is surprising.
Could that be Craig? No, it's way too big.
No, not unless Craigslist Cockanies.
Yeah. No.
We're zoomed way out because
Okay.
that Criticula is enormous.
Yeah. Is it Cockney's placentula?
Yeah, probably. It's underneath a rock, so I hit the skip button. Oh, 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 oh. This one's got rocks inside of it, but I know what this one is too, and there's something hiding under there.
It's got the sheet of silica over the top of the...
Yeah, it does.
Is that called what I think it's called?
I don't know.
I don't know if I want to say it on stream.
Is it a dirty word?
Well, kind of. But a lot of...
That's a silica. That's called a axial plate.
Oh, it doesn't start with an H?
No, you're right. You probably don't want to say that one.
That is a diatom term, though.
Yeah,
right?
that's a term.
Okay.
If we were looking at the outside of it, it may have those, but this one wouldn't.
Okay.
We need like this is 225.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say 240.
You want it to be straight up?
No. I should have gone just a little farther maybe, but 240 will be okay.
Wait, so who is this guy?
This is Calanese amphispana. That's an internal view of Calanese amphispana. See, now I should have forced somebody to pay me money for that one.
You don't like counties?
I should have just pretended I didn't know what it was, and then get somebody to pay the money so that I identify stuff, and then be like, you know what? I think I do know this one. It's Calanese amphispana. And then I could flip up to the page and show everybody, and they would be like, wow.
Not the Brain said you missed my hello. Hello, Not the Brain.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I said hi to Pinky. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Pinky is not a brain. Half Dead 422 said, I was saying about I went and saw your Instagram. Okay.
Yeah.
And also,
There's some good pictures in my Instagram.
Golganek said the last diatom had a beautiful texture. It did.
Fly swatter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta think of something better.
Go ahead and try.
Because fly swatters are not beautiful.
That one was. It was just a pretty fly swatter.
And people are debating what the family-friendly, unfriendly term might be.
Oh, there's lots of diatom words that are not family friendly.
Yeah, they like to be named after
If you knew what it was,
things.
I mean, areoli, that's a term, right?
Uh-huh.
So, not everybody knows what that one is.
It's not too bad.
This is Calanese, like this, if you want to see like the Calanese. And you click on that button, what takes you to the page for Diatoms of North America. You can see some other Calanese on that page. And amphispana is on here.
Oh, nice.
Doink.
It is beautiful.
Compare. And if you're wondering, how do I just know these things? In 2000, 24 years ago, I learned diatoms. This is one of the diatoms I learned.
At Okoboji?
At Okoboji. And when we were in the class together learning diatoms, my wife and I, this was one of her favorite diatoms.
Oh,
So I know all of her favorite diatoms.
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Do you make art of them for her?
I do make art.
But specifically of her favorite diatoms.
I mean, I've put them on the Instagram account.
Present her with a hand-whittled Calanese.
No, that hasn't happened, but that might be interesting. My daughter wants to get into, like, whittling. So I bought her a knife.
I recently...
We went out knife shopping.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
For your 8-year-old.
She's 10.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
That's
irresponsible.
fine, then.
She's 10. She's in the double digits. She can hold a knife. She's got to learn sometime. I got her a switchblade. Now nobody's going to mess with her.
Yeah. You need that. I got a whittling kit for my birthday because I've been wanting to whittle for a while. It's...
She says 24 years ago she didn't even know the word diatom. And
Aw.
I was just spitting them out at the time.
24 years ago, I didn't know any words. That's not true.
I bought a knife for that exact purpose for my little one this year. How old is your child? Pretty close to Sylvia's age. I think younger even.
But whittling is very hard.
Yeah.
It's like a forearm workout.
Yeah, she got some 13. She got some sticks and wanted to just like strip the bark off. She was doing the like,
it's fun. Sharpen them into
yeah,
spears.
something to stab the neighbor kids with besides
Yeah.
the knife, I guess, or put her eye out with or something. I don't know. Whatever kids do these days with knives.
But my kit, you're supposed to make this block of wood into a bird. And my block of wood is now like a slightly thinner block of wood.
It sounds like you've been at work.
I have been hard at work.
You've been at work on that thing.
But I have to do it outside now because the wood shavings clogged the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, I'm surprised that the other people in your house let you shave wood inside the house.
They didn't let me, I just did.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Okay. Peace Frog 71 says 24 minutes ago I didn't know the word diatom.
Here you are in the channel with a bunch of
It's a
Sorella Brads.
Party.
Yeah, Brad and Brad and Brad. And the gyro signal.
And caterpillar.
Oh, is that what you call that one?
It's either caterpillar or it's possum.
It's got a bit of a suture problem here. Look at this.
Apart.
Look at those little tiny areolae in it, though.
Would you take a look at that?
Would you look at it?
Would you just look at it? Sorry.
There's another Melisira valve at a weird angle. Well, I should have put the educational tag on my stream if we were going to learn things. I don't know what I was thinking.
Half Dead 422 wants to know if you have any suggestions for snacks for his photo session for the eclipse.
I don't know. Do you like salty things or sweet things? Because usually people are one or the other, or sometimes they need both at the same time.
I
And I think it's critical if you're going to ask me to like make a recommendation, so that I don't go like get some cashews and then you're like, I don't eat nuts, they make me die.
How dare you recommend me to eat nuts?
I mean,
There's Amphora mustache. Oh, and that one's earthworm.
yeah, that's an interesting diatom. It's only half of a diatom right here, but that is a Triblinella.
Oh, okay.
See the indentation divides the striae in half? And it's hiding underneath this pile of junk, but that's definitely a Triblinella.
Anna said that's not an earthworm, which is true. Half Dead 422 says he likes salty snacks and also he's diabetic.
But not like, allergic to nuts.
I don't think so.
I feel like you should start with that if it's a problem. Oh. It is a Paraplacanese. Pretty sure. Oh.
What now? Who? Is
I
that
found a Paraplacanese.
a Paraplacanese?
Yeah, that's a Paraplacanese. I didn't even realize we had Paraplacanese in the U.S. That is absolutely what that is.
What makes it that?
It's a Placanese. Instead of being uniseriate, it's biseriate.
Oh.
They moved them into their own genus. That is Paraplacanese.
Making discoveries here.
We could get famous. We could describe this diatom, and then I'll have at least one more diatom that I've described, if it were something new. And that would bring me to 51 diatoms I've described, which is where you need the threshold to get over to famousness, I think. If you only describe 50 diatoms, nobody cares about you, but
once you get to 52.
the 51 is it's the boundary, right? Suddenly people are like, this guy's kind of a big deal.
We should make him a saint.
Yeah, exactly. That's the next thing that happens. Sainthood.
Anna wants to know, how do you spell that, not Placanese?
Just put the word para in front of it. P-A-R-A. Paraplacanese. Like
go.
partially Placanese. Which doesn't make any sense, but that's what they called it. I could not tell you what species it is because I don't know.
Oh, also, she said, I think that was the last one, was Triblinella apiculata.
The earthworm. See? Now you're getting help
Yeah.
from the chat. You should
I
be
love
paying
that.
Anna
that
now.
that saves me hours of looking at
Books.
the books.
Or the internet. Or
Yeah. Or both.
Yeah.
All of the above.
She just knew that Triblinol. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's why we have her around. Turns out she's also a diatomist for a living.
Sir Squincelot said these are freshwater diatoms, question mark?
They are.
Yes. They're from Otter Creek in Vigo County, Indiana.
This is an interesting diatom. Look what happens when it goes onto the mantle. When it wraps over to the mantle, it goes back into being uniseriate. You see this? Single dots,
Oh, that's weird.
splits into two. Single dots, splits into two right here. Single dots, splits into two.
Is that a characteristic of the genus?
Paraplacanese. Thus, I think it's Paraplacanese.
So, did we talk about Paraplacanese in taxonomy class?
I did.
But you said probably not.
I
US?
didn't assign it,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean probably not in the U.S. I just hadn't seen one in the U.S. before. I don't think it's on Diatoms of North America.
The whole genus?
The genus is missing, I believe.
Wow.
Which is why I thought it wasn't in North America, because I was like, where is it? See? P-A-R-L? There's no P-A-R-A.
Dang.
It's not in here. We could take this picture, take some light microscope pictures, slap them onto Diatoms of North America, and then you could be a contributor
For a whole genus.
for a genus.
Dang.
You'd have to also make me a contributor because I took the picture and stuff and
Of
identified
course.
them.
Um,
I feel like some of my students skipped over that part and they just put themselves as the contributor, and I was like, hey, I was the one who took these pictures. Maybe you should have had me as a contributor. It might also narrow down your possibilities for what it is. So if somebody's actually figured out that it's Paraplacanese, and they're not just calling it Placanese, they probably have a list of Paraplacanese in the U.S.
Didn't you say that you have to have like 300 photos of something to get it onto the Diatoms of North America?
No. You need 7 photos to get it on Diatoms of North America, but usually we want 50 photos of diatoms across the entire size range in order to characterize the range.
Right.
So
okay.
striate density and length and width characters, usually they want like around 50 if you can get that many, so that you can get the whole population and its size range, although people probably have submitted them with less.
Okay, things going on.
But you need 7 photos for their and you don't even need any SEMs. But it would probably be good to put it up there because nobody knows what it is, except for people working in Africa, like me.
People are talking about snakes.
Did they make snaky mistakies with Labby Gabby?
Yes. Anna says Paraplacanese was described from Lake Baikal.
There you go.
That's why I don't know about them. Just dismissed it as something Baikalish.
Here's what that thing we were looking at that I didn't know what it was. And I still don't know what it is. But there's the raphy, and it has a raphy that stands up on a ridge.
Yeah, that's monstrosity.
So that is like Plagiotropis.
Plagiotropus.
But I didn't think they were in freshwater systems. Is it Plagiotropis? You're gonna have to look it up now. This is like one of those species you only see in the ocean that sometimes show up in rivers.
Anna says it's an awesome thing. Would you like me to read
Plagiotropis.
people sharing their favorite kinds of snakes?
Look at this. Yoink!
Wow, what is going on with him?
Just out of the top of my head.
Yoink!
Plagiotropis.
Cool. Lepidoptera, that means butterfly.
Yes, it does. Somebody thought it looked like a butterfly. And then proboscoidea. It means like it has a proboscis, like a trunk.
Anna says Plagiotropus arizonica lives in streams.
Well, there you go. I just knew what genus it was because I saw this view and I was like, I know that one.
I think it's cute how it's...
I know the genus. I've seen them in the ocean only, though.
Cool.
Like when Pacific Plankton sends me samples from San Francisco Bay, we sometimes have Plagiotropus in it. And they look so confusing in the scanning electron microscope, but also in the light microscope, that when I see them, I'm usually like, what the heck is this thing? And I was still like, what the heck is this thing? But I figured it out, so I didn't give up.
I don't see the butterfly.
You know, butterflies are in the eyes of the beholder. We're going to zoom in and get it into focus, though. Like way up here.
I think it's cute how it's tucked into the Cerarella.
They're big spooning and little spooning. And clearly that Cerarella Brad is the big spoon.
Okay.
7. And speed 7. And pow, we take a picture.
So people are saying that Gabby says her favorite snake is the Eastern Indigo.
Is it purple?
Dead. I don't think there's any purple snakes.
Why is it called an indigo?
I would think that is like a blue.
Purple and purplish blue is
Gabby,
indigo.
in the chat, can you describe what the Eastern Indigo looks like?
I have Google. I could figure it out.
Half Dead 422 says, I don't have one yet, but maybe one day. Post some photos. Snaky Mistakey says, I have ball pythons and an African house snake.
In their house?
They're pets.
In their house?
Well, no, she doesn't currently. She has them at her
parents' house.
Yeah.
They're probably real happy about that. I gotta go to school and I can't bring my snakes. Parents, you get to feed them the rats.
So I take it you don't like snakes.
That's the mistakey part. I'm just saying, like, having to force your parents to take care of your snakes is, you know.
Maybe it was their idea to get snakes.
Maybe your parents really like you.
Pathanogen CS says, one of my friends in Las Vegas sent me a picture of the Hoover Dam, and it just amazes me that beavers made that.
He's out here with his dad jokes.
Gary says, it's blue-black with a yellow-red chin. Lives in Florida. Huge.
Probably kill people. Probably bites them and they die.
She also said, my mom is indeed not happy. She loves the lizards, though.
Well, probably because you can just feed them bugs and stuff instead of rats.
Anna says, another 15 minutes of not really working and I should go home.
Did they clock you're not working? You clocked it?
She wrote that she's not working.
I'm just asking if somebody's, she said 15 more minutes of not working.
Yeah, clock that 15 more minutes.
Because 5 o'clock, and then she can go home.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody's watching that she's not working. Or maybe she has a mandatory amount of not working she has to do. That's different.
Yeah.
See these stripes? It's because this giant boulder is causing stripes. See it?
Is it?
They're when the scanning arm comes over it causes the contrast to be messed up. So it creates a stripe.
Oh, wild. It's like a shadow, but without light.
Kind of. It's like a high peak causing it to distort my otherwise pretty picture.
It's a really cool picture.
Except for the stripes. Not a fan of them. Anyway, Plagiotropus.
Spooning.
Tropus. One time what we should do is have a contest, like a spelling bee, but for diatoms. Where it's not spelling it, you're shown a picture and then you have to tell them what the genus is.
You mean at school or like at the National Diatom Conference of Professionals?
The professionals. And then if you get it wrong, you have to go sit down, like be embarrassed.
Yeah, you have to.
You can spell it wrong, but you have to actually know what the genus
go
is.
get a different job.
No. We don't want people to not do it. We just want them to. We want to reward the people who can, like a spelling bee, right? Like the winner is the person who keeps going the longest, and then you can just pick rarer and rarer diatom genera.
Mm-hmm.
And then the winner is the winner. Then you reward the winner. We don't punish the losers.
Okay.
It's not that kind of deal. It's not Hunger Games.
Pathogenesis says, good spot, Dr. Pebble.
That is the inside view of a Thalassiosira.
Oh, much friendlier looking.
Yeah, all the spines are missing because those are on the outside. Turns out people don't like to put the spines on the inside as frequently. There's this thing about that's where I am, on the inside. Well, it's a whole diatom. Is it an avicula? It is. What do you call this guy?
Bert.
Bert.
Bert's everywhere.
Yeah.
Craig should be too.
Well, nobody told Craig that it was supposed to be everywhere. It's also because it's very small, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And we probably overlooked a bunch of them.
So sad.
Well, it does mean I get to keep looking for it. So, maybe there'll be more streams, you know?
Anna said if you make them go sit in a corner, that's punishment.
No, they just sit back down.
Okay.
Not in a corner.
But they're embarrassed, though.
I mean, they might be, but they put themselves in for it when they signed up for the contest.
Okay, it's not mandatory.
It's not mandatory, no. It's just like, you want to prove to everybody how cool you are. This is your chance, right? This is whatever that thing is that I thought might be a gomphanema.
The weird one.
Yeah, it's a weird one. And I will return to the idea that I think it's a gomphanema. This one looks much more like a gomphanema.
I guess it could be very subtly club-shaped.
It is. I'm certain of it. And up here at the top, foot pole?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Maybe. But that is a stigma.
Uh-huh.
And this is otherwise looks like a gomphanema to me. And now we have an internal view of it. Or we will in a second. What are you giggling about over there?
Pathogen CS said, last time I entered a spelling bee, I misspelled pencil, and I've been scarred ever since, in front of the whole middle school.
Can you still spell it right? Or can you spell it right now?
I mean, it's spelled right in the chat,
So,
as far as I know.
you still learned.
Traumatizingly.
It's probably not the best way to teach people.
Mm-mm.
Like, embarrass them into learning. But did you sign up for that contest, or were you just forced to do it?
I feel like in middle school they would just force you to do it.
When I was in 7th grade,
It's part of it.
my teacher didn't like it because I misspelled appellation.
Yeah.
And then she's like, gave it back to me and said, spell it right. And I sat down and tried to spell it again, and I gave it back to her, and she goes, it's still not spelled right. And it's like, it's not my fault. That word is ridiculous.
Yeah. I remember a spelling test. We had to keep taking it, but the words would rotate, and you had to get 100% before you could stop taking it. But the words would keep rotating.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time.
If it were diatom names, I would win.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at those.
Snaky Mistakey points out that I said traumatizingly, which is true.
Traumatizing?
Traumatizingly. It's not a word. Traumatizingly? That's not a word either.
I mean, you say some words that aren't words earlier, and I didn't make a big deal out of it.
Dr. Seuss did it, and so, you know.
What does that say?
This one?
Oh, animated emotes can be disabled.
Hmm.
If you don't want to see people's emotes wiggling.
Why would I want to do that?
I don't know. We have some good conversations going on today.
Mm-hmm.
Two Chooks is here. Hi, Two Chooks. She didn't tell me again. She just skips over the hi chat.
What?
Doesn't even say anything when someone says hi.
Oh. There's so much going on. If I read
know.
everybody's stuff.
We have to parcel
run
out
out
the
of-
chats because
I've run out of air.
yeah, we have to parcel them out a little at a time because she can't keep up with it all.
Trying to look at diatoms.
She's here trying to look at diatoms. Quit trying to entertain her by chatting.
Mm-hmm. Now we're talking about math problems.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Oh, look.
I'm finally
We have subscribing.
somebody subscribed?
Multiple.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
They gifted one too. Neuro One Net. I suspect that's maybe supposed to be an L, like neural net, but with a 1.
Mm. What do
And
you
they
get
gifted a
if you
script.
subscribe?
Emotes.
Oh, right. The diatom ones?
Yeah, I have a lot of them.
Did you
And
make
they're
them?
I made them all, yeah. They're my artwork. And some of them are my drawings.
Oh, cool.
And I'm also got like 5 animated slots I'm not using. Or maybe it's 6 animated slots I'm not using. So I really need to get to work and fix that. But it turns out I am a full-time professor.
Turns out.
And a part-time, streamer. So...
It's valid.
And in one of those I'm kind of famous, and in the other I'm just like not famous. So, well, I guess the science community knows me, but like on the science community on Twitch knows me. Company me something.
Mysterio.
Something.
Something.
You like how I spelled it?
Uh-huh.
Thought you would. Given your, attention to detail on spelling.
We are getting a flush of special diatom emojis.
Oh yeah, that's what happens when you got the for science. They did it for science. That's what happens when you spend your money, your hard-earned money, so that you can spam emotes in channel with cool diatoms and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta flaunt it.
That's right. You gotta make the other people out there who haven't spent the money or have it gifted to them realize how cool it is, so that they will then get a
Super
job so they
jealous.
can get emotes. The emote game is strong. That's all I can say about that.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Slothra.
I agree. I think that's a Slothra.
It's close to.
It's that long skinny one, but see how it has curved radiate striae in the center?
Wait, you think it's the long, skinny one that I
Mm-hmm.
put almost looking like Craig?
Almost Craig.
Almost Craig.
Yeah. I think we've seen that guy before, though.
Oh, it's so good to differentiate them.
Yeah, I think that's the Slothra. That's
I was
almost
hoping
Craig.
that they were the same species, though, because
You wanted to lump them together.
then I would have, a majority, a dominant species. It's really dominant.
I don't think they are the same.
And a tardigrade, somebody said.
Yeah, yeah. That's my artwork, the tardigrade.
Oh, I thought they were saying we'd passed over a tardigrade.
No, if we'd have seen one of those, it looked like a garbage bag with all the air sucked out of it.
Hmm,
So, because I didn't do any special prep on these samples.
that's sad. But there's
I mean,
ways
it would have
to-
been sad, but we didn't see it, so it's not sad.
Pathogenciest says, "Don't get a job, kids. Not worth."
He's coming back to grad school with us here, so,
Oh, really?
but he's gonna work and do it at the same time.
Not gonna do a teaching?
He is gonna have a TA, and then he's gonna have a job during the day and TA in the evenings, I think.
No, that's a good plan.
I don't know when he's gonna have time to, eat,
Yeah.
be a human being.
Yeah.
It's gonna really put a, a damper on his video game time.
Well, is it a master's or a PhD?
Masters.
You can take a 2-year pause from video games.
We have Schrodinger's sad tardigrade somewhere on that slide. Yeah, exactly. It could be there or it could not be there.
You think there's probably tardigrades in my samples?
Not after we put a bunch of hydrogen peroxide in them, there's not.
But before that?
Not a lot, if they're there.
Hmm.
They're definitely in the Schrodinger category. Possibly there.
Mm-hmm.
We won't know until we look.
But they're already all hydrogen peroxided.
Yeah, that probably put an end to them,
Yeah.
would be my guess.
Rip.
Yeah. Turns out, when you put things that oxidize organic matter together with organic matter, it kind of stops it from being around. It turns it into carbon dioxide.
Sad. Dr. Stone is anti-tardigrade.
That's not true. I have a tardigrade emote.
You think they're too mainstream?
I feel like they are the spokes, the unexpected spokesperson for streamophiles.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there are other streamophiles that are equally as interesting that do not get as much attention. And that is an attitude that most people who know extremophiles probably also shares. It's like when people get excited and say, oh, trees make all the air we breathe, and then you're like, but what about all the other things that make the air we breathe that you're forgetting? Like, say, diatoms,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's in the category of, yeah, those things are fine, nobody hates trees, but like, there's a lot of other things that are kind of busy doing the same job that don't get any credit for it.
Pathogencias says, can you ask Dr. Pebble if we are going to Richard's on Friday?
That is a great question. Richard's is a fine dining establishment
Is it?
where they have some smoked meats.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that here in Terre Haute?
Yeah.
I've
Have you
never
ever heard
been
of it?
there. Mm-mm.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Wait, is it called the other form of Richard?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then I have heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah. The smokehouse.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it last time because they accidentally gave us a bunch of extra food for free.
Well, that sounds
They-
great.
They just got confused.
Was some of the food, say, like side dishes?
It was a bunch of entrees, and we were like, we did not order 4 entrees, and they were like, whoops, sorry,
Now you have it.
now you have them. And
Right.
we were like, okay,
Sounds like the right kind of deal.
yeah,
Did you use any of their barbecue sauce?
yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like me some brisket.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'll have to ask my other lab personnel about Friday, but it turns out I no longer have classes on Friday, and I no longer have classes on Monday or Wednesday.
Wow.
I'm down to 2 classes that meet in person where I need to be there.
That's cool.
And simultaneously, I've completed all of my responsibilities as the graduate program director.
Cool.
Basically.
So you can look for Craig for hours.
Yeah, I could. So those things are like combined together with the search committee finally kind of coming to conclusion. I mean, basically coming to conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Did they make a decision?
When you say they, do you mean me?
Oh, you're in charge of the final say?
Yeah, I kind of am the chair of that committee.
Okay, cool.
But I didn't have the final say. I mean, they just voted.
See, you said they too.
The other people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, as a group.
So y'all made a decision.
Yins made a decision.
Yeah.
We did. Well, that's not true. We ranked candidates.
Is that Craig?
No, that is Cockney's. But I will take a picture of it for you.
It's far too big. Cockney's placenta.
I'm not sure about that. It looks like maybe it's lineata. Or one of those things that are kind of like lineata. Placentula should have like a saddle shape, I think.
It does?
Oh no, that's pediculus. Maybe it is placentula. But I feel like we need to look at it.
Okay.
Like
Just look at
like
it.
Scientists look at it, not
Okay.
just like glance at it.
Somebody said, Fall Machine in 1790 said, "Come on, gang, let's go plant 1,000 diatoms for the environment." I think that's funny.
You could just plant 2 and some nutrients,
And
or
they
just plant them
replicate.
in the nutrients, and then they will make how many? 1,000? 1,000 would take them about. I have to do some math on the generations. Maybe 3 days
Dang.
if you started with 2.
I won't miss this high message. It's from Ness Nost Music.
That's Nastas here?
Ness Nost is here. I was gonna say in the flesh, but they're not.
Right. They're Nost.
They said, "Well, hey, ow." So I don't know if they got hit by something.
Ow?
At the end there. Yeah, it says ow.
Hey, ow?
Yeah.
You sure not saying like, yow?
It says, "Hey, ow."
Like it got hurt?
Yeah.
Nest is a musician here on Twitch. Would you guess that with their name? A lot of my friends on Twitch have the last name Music, and I thought that's really like their parents or their whole family must be musicians.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, it's kind of cool that their last name is Music. There's like a lot of my friends on Twitch last name is Music. Nesnost Music?
Serendipity.
Yeah. Nesnost is an example of that.
Nesnos says, "I'm here just to say hi.
Hi.
Streaming in a minute, but see you in a bit."
Okay. Maybe when we're done, we'll come visit you.
Is that the person who sang at the Christmas party?
No, that's my friend Hannah Rebecca Music. She also has Music as her last name.
She also on Twitch?
She is. That's actually where I met her. In fact, at the Christmas party was the first time I met her in real life.
Wow.
She
Cool.
came to visit and stayed at our house when you guys left.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Don't let the old ones get too small.
Exactly.
Oh.
For diatoms?
Mhm.
Yeah. The older they get, the smaller they get.
Yeah.
This one's got mud on the inside.
Mm.
The upper half of this diatom picture was really good, and the lower half has mud.
That's okay.
We'll still be able to tell what it
It's
is.
still good.
Mud is the enemy of good.
Sarah just texted me.
It's time to go soon. Pretty soon. Because I gotta eat dinner and take care of my little doggy.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And I don't know, play video games. What do you do in the evenings? Work?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
I have to get 39 more slides counted.
I've been streaming in here since like 2. That's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it only felt like maybe 20 minutes to me, really. That's the thing. Maybe it's a lot more boring for other people. When you're actually like taking pictures and looking around, it doesn't seem like much time has passed. when you're hanging out with such good company as I have in my chat and in my room here. Oops, I closed it.
Oh.
I opened it again. It's okay. It'll be fine. I just hit another button.
Half Dead 422 says, I want an exact measurement of how many days 1,000 diatoms would take, not maybe 3 days. I
need a calculator because I can't do exponential math in my head very well while I'm trying to stream.
Pathogen CS says, I'm gonna go watch an unhealthy amount of Star Wars. Talk to you later, Gator.
Alright. Maybe I will see you online later, Mason. Also, sometimes Mason streams.
I hope Brad is the dominant species in my next slide.
There, we give him a shout out. People can follow him. You can tell that he streams Counter-Strike because it's right there in the name. CS.
Oh.
Look at this. Look at this.
Banana.
No. What did I tell you?
Ariella.
Ariella. There we go.
We renamed it.
That's broken.
It looks like a banana phone.
Yeah. Oh, I have a banana phone emote.
You do?
Yeah. In fact, if you like Banana Phone the song,
I do like Banana Phone the song.
Our friend Sepertus Maximus, who was here in the channel and said hi, he sings that song every time he streams.
Awesome.
It's his goodbye song. Like at the end, he sings the Banana Phone song.
Banana Phone.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
the
one. Every time. Never fails.
Nizia.
Yeah, that's a Nitsia.
It's intact.
It does look like it's intact, doesn't it?
Uh-huh. Those really long ones.
Yep.
Hardly ever see.
Yep. That's what it is. It's a Nitsia. I feel like you could see this one and count it without having it on the SCM, though. But if you want me to take its picture, I can. Later on, you're going to need these for, like, a poster or some stuff.
You think so?
Maybe not this one.
I'm making Dr. Gooley a PowerPoint of my main players.
So he's going to learn diatoms now?
He might look at it.
I'm just wondering.
I just need to show him that I'm doing stuff.
Does he not think you're going to keep doing stuff? Like if he looks away?
Well, it's good to check in with your advisor, I've been told. That's all.
Yes.
You know, send him updates every now and then.
I suppose it could be alright. I never talked to my advisor.
Really?
Not anymore. I mean, I used to.
But when you were a graduate student?
I went and talked with her once a week. We sat down and had a little chat, usually.
Yeah, see, that's what you're supposed to do.
I just showed up and sat down, and we would small talk. That's No, what is this thing? Sororella? I don't know what that is. Looks like a sororella.
Sir Squincelot says, so why are these diatoms important? What's special about Otter Creek? Should I answer?
It's your project, ma'am.
Okay, so it's not that Otter Creek in particular is special. I'm looking at the ecology of removing a lowhead dam, and that hasn't really been looked at with diatom assemblages before. So these samples are from... Is that Craig?
No.
These samples are taken upstream and downstream of a lowhead dam in Otter Creek before the dam was removed. And then next summer I'm going to go in, take the same samples at the same points, and compare the species assemblages of diatoms after the dam was removed.
It's a little tiny diplonese.
Oh, like that one
It's very small.
that we saw that you said might be a new species.
Yeah, it's probably that one.
Well, that's cool.
Skip
And
it.
he's hiding.
We skip it. It's on stub 5 somewhere near the middle. We'll find it again if we have to.
You think so?
It's covered with stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's more of them. I think I've seen a couple more. I took pictures of them for you.
Mm-hmm. We need to look for it a little bit more, like, where we can see it, though.
Mm-hmm. Sir Squincelot asks, what do you expect the differences to be? So I've read a lot of dam removal papers. Most of them are looking at like fish assemblages and macroinvertebrate assemblages, and they usually see like an initial decrease in abundance and species diversity, at least downstream of the dam, but a lot of times upstream too. So usually they see that initial decrease, and then after like 2 years, it starts to bounce back. So this next year, I'm expecting to see a decrease in biodiversity and abundance, probably. That's my hypothesis.
Look at these spines.
Whoa.
Look at those nasty spines it has.
Who is that?
It's a Cerulella on its side.
Wow.
See those things? Look at that.
Wow.
That thing is like, do not touch me. You will get.
So if a rotifer or something like tried to chomp it,
That's what it's there for.
would it like,
Spit it out, probably.
oh, it wouldn't kill it though?
These things have big, that's a big, that's a big diatom. That's almost 100 microns. And it probably doesn't go down very smoothly if you try to eat it. Now what we should do is try to find this diatom in not girdle view.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look. It's Triblinella again.
Mm.
We should try to find that guy.
That one I
not
call
girdle view.
the thing.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a Triblinella. You have all these Triblinellas in your sample. They're usually found in, like,
Soil, you said.
riverbanks and soils, yeah.
Which makes sense because the river is very brown.
Brown?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like the water's brown.
Oh, it's got, like, sediment in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. This is chocolate water.
Yeah. See, I'm from the West. Water's blue.
You don't have chocolate water where you're from?
Not typically.
Yoo-hoo.
As in the chocolate milk brand?
You've got the boom boom system, but it's slicing out doo-doo, and you think it's chocolate milk, but it's watered down yoo-hoo.
Okay. Sir Squincelot said, is the high diversity and an artifact of the dam's existence? It might be because of, like, eutrophication, right, Dr. Stone?
Why, is the water brown? Is that what you're asking me?
No, like, he's saying the high diversity. Is that because of the dam?
So, it's probably because there's a lot of different types of environments together,
Mm-hmm.
and that leads to high diversity. And when you go from a system, for diatoms at least, what's going to happen is you have all the stuff upstream that might be relatively fast moving, and it's carrying particles into the part of the river that's slow moving.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have like conditions that are a little bit more like a lake, and also conditions that are a little bit more like a river. So diatoms that like fast moving water are living there, and diatoms that like slow moving water are living there, and the fast moving ones are being carried into the place where the slow moving stuff is. So the more microenvironments you have with diatoms that specialize into those environments, the more likely you are to have higher diversity. And when you take the dam out, what happens is now you only have fast moving stream.
Mm-hmm.
And so the number of environments that you have necessarily decreases, right?
Yeah, you might
So-
still have, like, slower eddies and...
Right, but you'll
Deeper
probably
areas,
have
yeah.
like a reduction in the total number of microhabitats for diatoms to live in, and so that leads us towards lower diversity.
Mm-hmm.
So just in the most fundamental way, it makes sense that that's the path that usually happens because we have fewer environments together. So if
Yeah.
you have like quiet water, you get different kinds of plants growing there,
Mhm.
right? And that means that if the diatoms are living attached to those plants, and you get rid of the thing that was holding the quiet water from, we get rid of the dam, basically, we get rid of the quiet water, and now those plants can't live there, and the diatoms that lived on those plants can't live there.
Yeah.
And so they're linked through the environments in which they live. So this diatom lives in riverbanks, is present whether you have fast-moving stuff or slow-moving stuff. So it'll be present. But something that lives attached to plants, like, for example, cocknease, the little guy that we saw that's like round, only lives attached to plants. So if there's no plants in the environment anymore that are like it was normally living in lilies, for example, which is like slow-moving water or non-moving water. Those environments removed, and then basically we see a decrease in diversity. That's a pattern I would expect, but we don't always know for sure that that's the way things will go just because we think it's that way, right? Anything can happen in
it's
reality.
My hypothesis, but
Right.
He says, so why the diversity decrease then ramp back up? And I was gonna say because, like, you know, there's a disturbance. The water's gonna move quickly. It's gonna sweep some things out, and then those species are gonna need time to reestablish their populations.
Or they establish new microhabitats, take a while to develop in the prior habitat that was stripped from there. So, for example, if you suddenly make fast-moving water, it will strip out all of the slow-moving plants, but then it takes a while before the fast-moving plants will move into that environment. And so things can live on the plants again after they reestablish themselves, which is basically what you said. But it requires, in order to get new microhabitats, you're going to have some time for organisms to adapt to the faster-moving flow. So that there should be some sort of pattern that's like that, associated with the disturbance.
It's going to be like succession after a forest fire.
Except for you're probably not going to grow back the same thing, right? So that's the other difference, is that very likely you're not going to get slow-moving species to ever come back into that system. You might get shallow water species or something because you've lowered the water level. You might get different things, but it takes them a while to basically adapt or grow into that habitat. So, you know, time passage creates this sort of new avenues for organisms to adapt to.
Oh, there is Cerarella. That's the one that I know. Illophemora?
Were you trying to give me its absolute name?
Yeah.
Labrile.
Labrile. I knew that one.
Yeah. You were close. Yeah, that's Cerarella.
It's a pretty
Labrile.
one.
I was looking for the one with the spines. I want to see those cool spines. We could zoom way out and probably find one.
1790 said, I had a teacher in high school who got called Fast Eddie. He used to play with mercury on his hands a lot before he learned that such play is probably a bad idea.
Oh, really a bad idea.
Eddie sounds like Craig's friend.
Okay.
Okay.
There's no denying it, because I don't know why we would.
Sir Squincelot says, by the way, lots of brown water in the west. I haven't personally seen any.
Look at these spines. Here it is in girdle view, or valve view. See the spines? They run right down the center of the back of it, right here. And then they're just this bright spot. But those big, jagged spines we saw, that's this species.
Dang.
In girdle view, it looked totally different. But do you see where those are right here?
Yeah, he's like a dinosaur.
Yeah, like a dinosaur.
He's like a stegosaurus.
A little bit like a stegosaurus. That diatom is the same as the other one that we saw on its side. If it was in 3/4 view, we'd be able to see those spines perfectly. But that's the one.
Sweet.
It's probably Cerarella linearis.
Linearis.
I don't remember what they're called, but those spines are wicked. Wicked. Wicked.
Dagrathar is following now.
Excellent. I was waiting for the moment when Dagrathar started to follow, so I could take the last picture for the day, which will be our wicked Cerarella.
Wicked spines.
Wicked cool spines.
Wicked smart.
It's got wicked smart spikes on the back.
I'm gonna rename it Stegosaurus.
Oh, I thought you were going to name it after one of the people in chat like we did with Ariella.
Yeah, we should. Sir Squincelot.
Oh, you're going to call this one Squincelot?
Do we know that person in real life?
They've been to 2 streams, both of which you were here.
Oh, good.
Or no, I think maybe they even missed the first stream you were here, but they watched part of it or something. But then they followed us afterwards, so they maybe caught the video.
Sir Squincelot asks, what's the purpose of the spines?
Defense, probably, for this guy.
so that the rotifers can't fit them in their mouth.
Yeah. Anything that would try to eat them would probably be like, ouch, and spit it back out.
Like a porcupine.
Like a porcupine. That's actually my favorite insult for somebody.
To call them a porcupine?
No, I like to tell them, go eat a porcupine. When I, want to picture them stuffing one of them in their mouths. Right?
When you do crayfish collection, you go out and you kick rocks.
Kick nets, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's my friend used to say, go kick rocks.
Go kick rocks.
And now I am kicking rocks.
I go kick rocks.
Yeah.
What about it?
They're on the inside of the next section?
No. Well, they would have formed back to back on the inside when they formed for splitting, you mean? Because diatoms do split. But they would be up against the spines of the diatom, so they would form like back to back with the one on the other side. So they would never be inside of a valve unless they were back to back with something else. Outside is the outside part. Oh, asymmetric soul?
Are we going to dump everybody?
Yeah, it's called raiding.
Right.
It's called raiding. We don't call it dumping.
Okay.
We have lots of people we could go visit that I'm friends with. Look at all these people with music as their last name. Here's Tess Posner music, Ludi Games music. I mean, their parents must be really proud they're carrying on the family tradition like that.
Half Dead 422 says, OMG, do you guys ever get like diatoms mid-split?
Yes. We have seen those in the stream, and also I see them in the light microscope occasionally. We actually see 4 valves together when there's only 2 valves. Like they expand outward, and then they basically put the back-to-back valves in.
Sweet.
And they haven't come completely apart. We've seen it. It happens.
And do you yeet them into
Do
non-life?
I yeet them? Yeet? I don't yeet them. Usually when I'm looking at them, they're already dead. So, intimate moment, yes. Their intimate moment where they're having splitting time with themselves when they're cloning, when they're cloning themselves, intimately cloning themselves.
It's gotta be.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were halfway through cloning yourself, you would know exactly how it felt when somebody killed you at that moment.
Yeah, I walked in on you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be super embarrassing. Like, just give me a second. I'm almost done. There's almost 2 of me. I would just flex my infinity at them and be like, "That's right. I live forever. I used to be 1 of me, and now there's 2 of me. And when later on there'll be 4 of me.
In 1,000 years.
And 1,000 years later, I'll still be splitting, and you'll never know which one of me was me." Cerarella with spines. Spiny.
Yeah.
Normally this is the part where we raid somebody, and you have to pick who we might raid. Those are people
who was that
who...
person who checked in on us and said hi and then did their own stream?
Nesnost.
We should do
Let's
that.
go see Nesnost.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is nice of them.
She's a new streamer on Twitch. She plays music. We friends with her. I've been watching her since, I think, maybe like her 3rd stream or 2nd stream, because she came in and visited with one of my other friends' streamers. And then I was like a new musician. And I don't usually request music from people, but she asked me what kind of music I liked, and I mentioned some bands, and then she just started playing songs from them.
Aw.
And then she was live learning songs from people just because I said I liked them. So I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. I like it when people do that. So I hope you give us a check her out. Yeah, she's a musician. So this is a new streamer. Her name is Nesnost. And if you follow her, I think you become either a Nesty or a Nosty, you know?
Maybe a nest
Like a
nasty.
Swifty?
Ah,
I feel like Nesty's better, but she calls people nasty, I think. And then I was saying, like, you know.
that's nasty.
That's nasty. That's so nasty. We're going to go visit her. So, because she came to say hi to me, I'm going to go say hi to her. And I'm going to bring you guys with me if you come along. And we'll probably, like, look for Craig some more. I'm guessing, like, next week or Friday.
The hunt will continue.
The hunt for Craig will continue.
But in the meantime, I will continue counting
Yeah.
my light microscope
And,
slides.
you know, in 4 days or 7 days or whatever it was, there's an eclipse.
Yeah.
Don't forget to follow or to check out, I think it's like ESIND State.
Mm-hmm.
They're streaming the eclipse live from here.
It's a great opportunity to look at the sun.
You can look right at the sun if you have windows too. Just like look out there.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend glasses that do not focus the light into your brain, but but instead partially block it. Hey, we're taking off. No, we're getting ready to take off. No, we took off.
We're gone.
Now we're done. There we go. I can hit stop streaming because we're not in here anymore.
Amazing.
We're in this channel now. Boink. And I can